We should be live right now with you guys. Hopefully.
What's up, my man?
Tony Denaro, the Mandalorian, joining you guys tonight. Tony, how you doing, man? I love
I'm
the
doing
glasses.
swell. I just want to say, though, that we have a big storm blowing through. Hopefully it doesn't kick me off. I got an alert on my phone. It said, warning, baseball size hail incoming.
Oh,
So
okay. All right.
if,
The big storm's not coming from south of the border. It's actually coming from the sky.
yeah, if God decides to smite this stream tonight, you'll know what
We
happened.
know why. All right. Well, hopefully you stay safe. I don't want you going down during the stream. As long as we can keep it up, that's going to be the big thing. If I can keep it up on my end, I'm not worried about Texas. You guys will survive anything, it seems like. I just need a good internet connection.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
So how's everything going? Your weekend was good. I know you went to go see Dumb Money, I believe on Friday, right?
The 21st or 22nd, whatever, Thursday, I think. Yeah.
Thursday.
Took Scarlett, took my son, took his girlfriend, and we really enjoyed it, but it made me think a lot of things. So
Tell me about it.
hopefully we get a chance to chat with that. And I'm kind of curious in the audience who got to see that. Just FYI, the actual release date of that movie is the 29th. So
Correct.
If you don't have it in your area, don't panic. I'm already seeing the tweets out there. AMC is suppressing this movie. Why? Why is Adam Aaron don't want us to see it? No, guys, it's not nationwide release yet. So this is the low budget way to build hype. Do a limited release, get people talking about it, and then they go wide on the 29th.
Yes, and that is important when you're looking at, especially talking about the smaller numbers per screen. If you have less screens in a demographic area, but more people coming to them, then the numbers may look a little artificially overloaded, but they look good to the stock market and everybody else, right? So if we're seeing 8,000 a screen because we only got 12 of them, doesn't matter. It's all about what the look is and what the public perceives it as. Or an investor receives it as, right? So yeah, that is the way. Building hype, not spending a lot of money on advertising, right? Good word of mouth. It's all on social media mostly. I mean, they did do some promoting, but with the actor strike going on, they can't even go out and do a full tour. And they haven't been able to do like the radio shows. So this came out at a bad time. They can't do any promotion for it, right? The timing kind of sucks, unfortunately.
Have you seen that the book author is like flooding Twitter trying to get, he's working his end to get the hype up?
Is he?
Yeah, he's doing book signings, and I saw he tweeted Elon Musk and maybe Dave Portnoy, saying, "Hey, have you seen this movie yet?" So he's putting in his little bit.
Good stuff. That's good to know. I was saying earlier, I was talking to one of the subscribers out there, and we were talking about the movies, and the shutdown from the actors and the writers, and saying, this would be a great time for any entity out there, any, someone who has cash laying around. With all these people out of work, you got unlimited amounts of talent out there, good talent that has maybe been deprived from the mainstream in Hollywood. And, if you can find some of that talent, which is why I'm glad AMC put out that call to arms to say, hey, if you've got a project, send it our way. If we can take $10 million of the money that we've raised so far through these, through the dilution and through these extra shares that, have been sent into the market, if we can pick up some of that money and, take 15 or 20 million into a film project and make 100 and make 120 or 150 million, like we've seen a lot of films do this year that were smaller budget, all word of mouth, all just social media advertising. That's a great way to produce more profitability for your company, right? So I'm glad they're getting on board with that.
Yep. Scavenger, what's up? I see Berenson Running says, my thoughts on Finger. I did a community tab post, but we'll talk about Finger tonight or whatever stocks you want. I think my thoughts on Finger might surprise some of you.
Regardless of what you've heard.
Despite, how defensive people get when they read someone sharing due diligence, I think you might be surprised what I have to say about Finger. let's let a few more people get in the chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could say some more hellos and then come back around to that, right? We'll do a Jen
Yep.
Psaki. Okay. You want to say hey to some people in your chat, and then
Yeah, we
I'll go
got
ahead.
Max in the house. What's up, Maximus, Broke Ape, Jeff? Nothing but love. Hello, hello. Scavenger, we already said hello. Cheers,
What's up,
Scav. A beer to you, my friend. Sex Pistol 69. He wants to know, are we investing into Eight Fathers Casino? Hadn't heard about the casino, but I wish him luck. Diver Down Reefer, good evening. And let's see, Mr. Baglio. Do I like LRE IPO this week? I'm going to start doing some live streams talking about IPOs because those are fun to talk about. They are like a box of chocolates, but I am going to start doing some of the IPOs again with you guys just for fun because I'm watching them anyways. May as well turn the camera on. I'm still here every day with the Discord and trading. So why not? Why not do some IPOs with you guys? Maybe we'll make some money on some. And I did post some Chinese stock DD in the Discord also. And my other thoughts before I let Mass say his hellos is I kind of think that there's a decent chance that SQQQ could be a good play tomorrow. But make sure when you get up, you check. Or maybe we'll check the futures later this evening. I haven't done that yet. Take it away, Mass. Get your hellos in.
Alrighty, we got Broke Ape already. MC was the first one in the chat tonight. What's going on, MC? Candace, how you doing tonight? Jesse Matthews, Tommy B. I will get back to you tomorrow, Tom. Jeff Scott, what is going on, Broke Ape? We said hey to already. One Speed Go, how you doing tonight? And I think I got everyone on this end. By the way, T, talking about getting back to the movie for a second. How was your theater on that night? Was it? I'm just curious. Was it filled? Did it seem like it was half and half? What was it like?
It was mostly full, to be honest, and because there's only one theater in town that's showing it.
Okay.
And so we had an opportunity to see it a week ago for one day, and I couldn't make it that day. And then this was the second chance. And so, the people that missed it the first day were here. And then I don't think I don't know. I haven't checked, but I think it was very limited screenings here until the 29th. So that was the first real opportunity that folks had if you didn't catch it on the 21st.
Good,
but
got it.
Yeah, it was full, and the crowd seemed to vibe on it pretty good.
Yeah,
yeah. I found myself yelling at the screen, Johnny. As the price was running up, as you can imagine, I would. I was like, "Sell, you motherfuckers! Take the profits! What are you doing?"
Looking at their phones every 10 minutes. Oh yeah. God, yeah, yeah.
Any of you that know me, would know that's not a surprise that I would be saying that.
PTSD, right? I was having flashbacks. I got the chills, the sweats a little bit. It was a little much to handle. I swear to you, though, I'll be honest, I went to go see it this afternoon, the first showing at about 1:00 here. So pretty early. And we maybe had about 30 people in the theater size for 100. So 33% on a 1:00 movie on a Sunday when it was nice out. I'm like, you know what? I'll take that. It's we've already had the movie out unofficially now for 2 weeks in a lot of places. I think a lot of retail has already gone to see it. I wanted to interview some of the people who were in the theater when they came out just to ask if they were retail investors or, just happened to come out to see what the story was. Because I'm wondering how many people are going to pick up on this movie and realize that there are opportunities out there in the market for retail, but also you have to be very careful with what you do, right? Because, as the movie points out very clearly, they have a lot of tactics at their disposal that they can use against retail at any time or given place, right? And we've learned that over the last couple of years, which is why this play continues to develop and change on us constantly. Besides all the stuff that I'm Aaron is doing in the board and AMC, talking about the market conditions themselves, we went through a bear year last year where we saw the price come down a lot, and then we just got absolutely smashed since the reverse split. Looked like there was some shenanigans going on there. I don't see any other reason that all of a sudden this company dropped as heavily as it did, but that's debatable, I guess. The FTDs and all that. So I do hope it does bring some more awareness to the market. Let me ask you this, T. Do you think the timing of the Citadel suit had anything to do with the release of the movie?
I do not know.
Okay.
But
You think that's just a coincidence? It came out on Friday. The movie had a wider release. Ken Griffin went on CNBC for a live interview. No.
yeah, and I think that in 5 to 7 years we'll get some other $7 million fine for what happened in 2021.
I said that already. I said it. I said, mark this day on your calendar, guys, because I guarantee you, a couple years from now, we'll see something like this with a meme stock. Like, if you
Yep.
think they haven't done it recently, you're sadly mistaken. And
This is
this
the
will
problem
happen.
with the SEC that pisses me off. And I just want, I know everybody knows this at this point, but number one, the fines are bullshit. But number two, they take so damn long to investigate things. Like that fine that they got this past week, that was for trades that started what, in 2016 or something?
Yes. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that's an issue for us, right? We don't have that kind of time, and we don't have, and we've learned the hard way. We don't have that type of capital available to us at a moment's notice and be able to organize as the hedge funds are with the way they can throw their weight around. And I think, like I said, we're kind of learning that the hard way, and we're trying to figure out other strategies and ways to play with these guys to make money, as we wait for something big to happen.
We need to keep the pressure on for market transparency. Everybody's doing the right thing, but if you think that the SEC or any congressman is coming running to your rescue next week, next month, next year, I would urge you to expand your timeline to something that's going to really piss you off, and then you might be in the ballpark. So you need to play things smart in the meantime.
Absolutely. Let me just say real quick before she leaves, Mr. Heedy, want to pop in, say hello, love you. Miss you too, Mr. Heedy. Good to see you going over here, darling. Yeah, T, I agree with you 100% on that. And
Super Steven just popped in and he said that the WGA and AMPTP have reached a temporary agreement to end the writer's strike. I was hoping that we would have that to talk about tonight.
Good stuff.
I haven't seen that
That's
headline
awesome.
yet, Steven, but thank you for that.
Let me look that up real quick. I just have let's see, 1 hour ago. 19 minutes ago. Here we go. Deal.
You want to read it real quick?
Yep. Or yeah, let me see if I can share the screen with you guys real quick. Yep. Hang on. Let me draw this up. We can all read it. Yeah. All right. This is good news for us, man. And this was really worrying me. So putting this in a rear view mirror is going to feel a lot better about the overall market and this stock going forward. All right, here we go. See if we can put it up on the screen.
Hang on. Robert says, is it true that both of you work at a car wash? At a car wash. I saw someone, Ham Killer said, Tony Denaro don't know what he's talking about. He used to work at a car wash. Johnny, how long have you known me? Johnny?
Yeah.
I don't know where these people keep coming up with this bullshit. I've never worked at a car wash, but it's interesting when you tweet stuff and someone doesn't like it, how the only response they can have is some bullshit made up insult. That's when you know that, what you were tweeting was hitting a little too close to home, because they won't address what you're tweeting. They just make up some bullshit. No, I never worked at a car wash.
Yeah.
I have talked about 15 years ago. I went to a owners conference out in not Lake Tahoe. It was in Reno. I was thinking about building a car wash and a self-storage unit to utilize some land right outside the city. But ultimately, I ended up not doing that. No, I haven't been an employee anywhere in 20 years. And before that, I worked for a Fortune 100 company for 15 years. Talked about all this many times, you guys. Never worked for a car wash. No car wash.
All right. Yeah, I don't have any history of car wash in my background, guys. Nothing. But one of my favorite shows was very highly focused on the car wash business, Breaking Bad. I did learn a lot about it during that show. But that's probably my closest association to a car wash. I'm not even getting a car washed right now. All right, let's look at this deal. So this is from Variety, just dropped 7:15. Hollywood heaves a sigh of relief. The WGA and major studios and streamers have reached an agreement on a new 3-year contract that promises to end the damn 146-day strike, that is taking a heavy toll across the content industry. Negotiators for the WGA and AMPTP reached the finish line Sunday after 5 consecutive days of negotiation. On day 4, Saturday mostly involved lawyers for the guild hashing out the fine print of language around complicated and groundbreaking additions to WGA's minimum basic agreement. The nitty-gritty details of language around the use of generative AI in content production was one of the last items that the sides worked on before closing the pact. Email was sent out 7:10. We can say with great pride that this deal is meaningful gains and protections for writers in every sector of the membership. Awesome. That's it. I mean, do we need to read any more? If they got the deal inked, that's all I really cared about, right?
Now
I
we
hope they
need
got a good deal for themselves.
we need the actors piece of it to get nailed down.
Yeah. But the good thing is the writing always comes first, right? So I wanted to see them out of the strike immediately, right? If not sooner. I mean, the actors need to come back to work for things that are already in production. I get that. But as far as the writing goes, getting back to the writing table, it needs to be done imminent, right? We need to get right on top of that and back to work. So hell of a job. I'm glad that's over. And that's a lot of stress off of retail's back. If you're still holding AMC right now, like me and Tony are, yeah, that's good news. We were worried about that too, right?
One of the news items that we've been hoping for that could help us get a little bit of positive momentum going into the end of this quarter. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. So, all right, that is such a weight off of our shoulders, damn, because I was thinking going forward, the longest this continues to drag out, the more juicy of an opportunity shorts look at AMC and the other theater companies as far as their willingness to short them. If they have a feeling that they're going to see a downswing or a downtick in ticket sales and concessions and everything else that goes along with owning a theater stock, the longer that continued, the worse it would be for us. So I'm really glad that is out of the way. Excellent.
Floyd said, Tony,
what?
hang on. Floyd said, Tony said he sold. Let me catch y'all up who haven't been paying attention for the past month. I did sell because I had a concern about dilution dropping the price. And I was able to, as we've gone over this on other live streams over the past few weeks, I was able to capitalize on the ape run up, just like I told you guys was going to happen. AMC was going to drop, ape would go up. Capitalized on that, got out, waited for the dilution price down, walked down to hit, and then I bought back in. So I've been doing the wheel strategy. I have a position at about an $8 cost average now after the reverse split. Basically rebuilt my position for minus 80% of the cost. And now I'm selling call options on that, making money on that. And in case it drops, I'm willing to buy it a little cheaper. I'm selling put options. Again, that's not a bearish strategy. That is a income strategy. I'm selling put options with $7 strikes, cash secured puts. So I get immediate income from that. If it drops to $7, I'll happily buy it at $7. So that is my position. I have shares, almost the same position as I had before I sold. I got back in at a fraction of the cost. So I took all that cash, redistributed it on some blue chip stocks, kept some in cash, rebought my position, and I'm utilizing that position to sell calls with $15 strikes. And I'm also using the cash to sell puts. So for me, that's smart trading. You guys can do what you want.
Yep. And just to catch you guys up, I did not sell before the reverse conversion, but that was a mistake I made on my part and not looking deep enough into the future on an opportunity that based off of what we were seeing at the time, I think I should have taken advantage of, and I didn't do that. And, I learned my lesson the hard way. I've learned a lot of lessons on this ride. This is just another one. And going forward, as I told you guys, a few weeks back, I'll be looking to get in and out of positions, and anything I've done previous to this time, all the stock that I hold, will continue to stay in my account. But I am looking for opportunities to make money going forward And if that means that I need to turn over some of my shares that I bought in recently, I'm going to do that to take down some money. Every time we take some money away from them, it's less they have to use against us. So that's an update for you guys on me and Tony's position. Christian Princess says we got killed. T, let's talk about that a little bit because we did get killed, right? And me and you both thought before the reverse split that we would kind of stay where we were as far as market cap value, and that we wouldn't see a complete drastic crushing that we did. Looking back now, what do you think could have been done differently by retail? Like, or what do you think kind of led up to that massive sell off that we saw? Do you think people?
No,
Because I don't think that was retail.
yeah, no, that was not retail. And guys, if you had done what I had done, look, a couple of us selling there, you knew that Ape was coming over and providing a bunch of shares to AMC. So, and then we knew that the AMC, the company, was going to dilute. So it was reasonable, as we've talked about for many, many months, it was reasonable to be concerned about the price going down. I don't think either one of us, Johnny or me, talked about the reverse split conversion as a MOAS event. We talked about it as a necessity for the company to fix the balance sheet and a inevitability. Like I've been telling you since February or January that the vote was going to pass, and that once the court case happened, that in my view, nothing illegal was done, and that it was likely that the judge was going to approve the settlement. So that was my DD all along, and I just went with that DD. And along with that, I said AMC, because of arbitrage, is going to come down and Ape is going to go up when it happens. I laid all this out for you guys for months and months. What I can't tell you to do is buy, sell, or hold. So I do me, you do you, you listen, and you make up your own minds. Someone asked, was it a wash sale? No, because on May 6th, when AMC was at $6 and Ape was $1.50, I talked about this in my Discord and shared it with a few other people. I sold my AMC at $6 and bought Ape at $1.50. And then some people, as you know, when that first mistake about the settlement happened, were able to even buy Ape cheaper, back down around the 80-cent range.
Yeah.
So there was plenty of opportunity to double or triple your money on Ape if you had done that strategy. And then you also set up that you can rebuy AMC if the price came down in dilution without having to worry about a wash sale because you were in Ape. So.
And just remember, guys, all that hinged off of the judge's decision, right? So none of that was guaranteed. So
right,
everyone had to take a risk.
That's another reason why I don't talk about, like, I can't say you need to do this now, because what if I was wrong, right?
Right.
I'd feel really bad. I just told you what I thought was going to happen, and I trade according to what I think is going to happen. But even if I thought that the price might come down with the announcement of dilution, in no universe did I think $7 or $8.
Not 40 million shares.
No. I think this is way overdone, which is, even though I'm still worried about the balance sheet and I've been worried about the strike, I'm okay buying at this price. Does that mean we're safe at $8? No, I mean, it doesn't. You're never safe in the stock market, but I feel a lot more comfortable.
I like my chances. Yeah, I feel like we got better chances now, right? Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah. I feel like we're in a better spot now. And look around. If you look around social media, everybody's saying the same thing, right? How is it we have this all-time low on the price, yet the fundamentals have gotten just increasingly better since January of 2021 when we went all the way to $25, right? And we finally turned a profit. We signed this big wig, pop star to a contract for the fourth quarter. And you say, how possibly is the stock continuing to go down in price? So, I think me and Tony both agree right now that there is somewhat of, they're overextended right now as far as nailing this thing. We're trying to nail it to a cross. And it's probably a little undervalued right now as a company, not on the books per se, but in the eyes of the rest of the world. And that's all that really matters, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
I could still make a case either way, depending on how we wanted to analyze the financials. But if you just look at investor sentiment and how retail is looking at it, I think that the price where we're at is okay. Book
yeah,
value, no. I mean, the AMC is
different
still
story.
a bit of a mess, right? Depends
Yeah,
on how you want to analyze the play.
yeah. So I think we addressed that question, Floyd. I think T maybe yeah, T, was this the question that you were trying to address earlier about the reverse
Yeah,
split?
yeah, yeah.
You just addressed that. Okay. Doobie Wah, what's going on, man? I see in the chat, Jesse Matthews says, "What's up, Mass?" Christian Princess, how you doing tonight? Jesse says, "Sup, Mass." I don't get notifications even if I click the bell. Shadow ban much, Jesse. So I was looking at my last video, the one I just did about Biden and the border. So it has a 43% click ratio on, meaning if it comes over your screen, and I don't know what the numbers are average, but that's a pretty good number. I mean, if you're getting every, 4 and a half out of 10 clicks on your channel, that's pretty good. So the fact that the algo isn't picking it up, it definitely has to do, I would think, with some of the content that's in there, what I'm putting in the titles, but the description is the description of the fucking video. What am I supposed to do? I'm not going to go in there and not write about what I'm talking about in the video. It makes no sense. I'll never get anyone to watch going that route. So, yeah, there's probably some shadow banning going on just because of the content, with especially the border being a very hot topic right now, and coming on the negative side of it. Although I don't know, it seems like there's a lot of people coming on the negative side of it all of a sudden in here in 2023 at the end of September.
Uncle
So we
Frank,
said, yeah,
Uncle Frank, we see you. We already brought up the press release. Everybody is very excited about the writer strike being over. Hopefully, that'll give us some positive momentum in the next week. We need the actors piece of it to get resolved, also.
yeah, I'm ready for that. I'm ready for the actors to come back
And
to the table too to
to
get this
answer
done.
that clip you had up on the screen, Mass, from Floyd, I didn't answer about the is it going to affect a squeeze? I think that was the second part of his question.
Oh yeah,
Guys, I only categorize potential squeezes as short interest being over 20%. So we're only at about 12. So I'm not categorizing AMC as a short squeeze play. But I have said that it can. I do feel like there's a little bit of oversold condition at this price, and that there can be some positive volatility on news. And there's definitely people shorting it during the day, and shorting it at these prices. So you can see, I'm in it expecting some good news pop. That's what I'm hoping for. Are we going to see a short squeeze to whatever price target you want to make up? I don't talk about price targets ever, but I'm not going to categorize any play on my channel as a short squeeze that's under 20% reported short interest. That's just me. You can think whatever you want. Don't get offended.
but the numbers are coming up, so right, I'm
They
okay
are
with that.
coming
Look,
up. Yeah.
we just found that out the other day, and we happened to pop in and check it out, and they're on a rise. So I'm
It's
all about that.
12% at this price. Like, I don't know what they're thinking. That's 12% that think the company's going bankrupt. Fuck them.
Yep.
Let's wreck that thesis.
Yep. Scavenger says, "Hey, Mass. Hopefully you can help. I made 2,000 last night trading NQ and FOMO'd all the money into Evergrande." Oh boy, nice one, Scavenger. Hey, by the way, T. Speaking of the fine, because we did say that you don't believe that it had anything to do with the movie. I mean, that's probably true. More than likely, they've had this in the pipes for in the works for a long time. This fine that was coming. Do you want to talk about the fine compared? Because I've seen a lot of people complaining and saying that the fine is not acceptable considering the amount of money that Citadel makes. Now,
I bet they
I have
made more interest from having that cash in the bank from all those, fraudulent trades they did than that fine amounted to. It's just pitiful.
I know.
It's aggravating. But
I know.
what is me railing against the wind going to do about that?
Nothing.
We know this, that the fines are a joke.
This is par for the course, right? Do you want to real quick? You want me to pull up that video and we'll just watch it real quick about what? So, guys, this video is a conversation that took place back in May of 2021. It was on Dave Lauer's channel, and Wes Christian is talking about 2004 and Reg Show, exactly what Citadel is being accused of doing right now, and apparently they've owned up to it since they've accepted the fine and paid it. He's kind of basically explaining how this came to the attention of the SEC, a little bit of a backstory, and then what exactly is going on. So let's play that real quick, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
I'm gonna cross my fingers that we don't tank your stream. Let's do it.
Everybody cross your fingers, please. Please, please. All right. Here we go here. Oh, boy. Come on, baby. I have faith in you. All right. Here we go. All right. Let's pop this up.
Or something. So imagine selling it $80.
Okay, let me hold on. Let me just get the screen. There we go. All right. Here we go. Should be good.
And covering at 10 or maybe not at all. The ultimate mission, of course, is to drive it through the floor and put it in bankruptcy. And going back a little also, just to put some history in perspective and Reg Show in perspective, Patrick Byrne, the American.
By the way, let me just say thank you to Wes Christian, and Dave for joining us today.
John O'Quinn's firm, Rob Shapiro, who's one of our damage experts, and others, hired lobbyists. We went to Congress, we went to the SEC, and ultimately we're a part of getting Reg Show passed. And while it's somewhat of a toothless tiger, at least it identified for the first time that there are fails to deliver. Now, sadly, the company's shares that were getting sold and not delivered got posted. The rapist, the person who raped the company, the rapist, I call them, their name didn't get exposed, but the party who got raped got exposed, the company. But at least it justified that what we were saying was true. It substantiated it. I remember in January of 2005, when that first got put into effect, Reg Show, which we worked so hard on, there were thousands of companies on there. Well, today, incidentally, there's very few. And the reason's very simple. And you can see it in some of these enforcement actions we're going to post later, is they're marking a lot of the tickets long. So one of the ways that the bad guys believe, hey, I can circumvent Reg Show, and that this only applies to the United States, is I can mark it long. Because guess what happens when they mark it long? It doesn't go in short interest, which incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, means that the reported short interest is garbage in many cases. Why? Because all the shares that were marked long.
Now, he's saying in many cases, take that with a grain of salt, guys, as far as the percentages. This, again, it was back in 2021. I don't know if that's necessarily a true number. I can't back that up.
So failed to deliver in various different ways aren't reported in your short interest. So in most cases we've done, the short interest is 50% to sometimes 150% more than what's reported by the SEC, which of course is reported every 2 weeks. So
yeah, and that's not a controversial statement either. You know, I was involved in a case in which the rebuttal of our report was them attempting to say, oh, but you know, we looked, they signed an affidavit. We looked through our marking system and we were not selling short. And our simple response was, go search FINRA broker check and you will be overwhelmed by the number of fines that result from mismarking these orders.
Yeah, I think the number of fines, which is in that list, it's about 2 or 3 years old because it's a big effort to update it. The list that I had sent over to you, Dave, I think is over 500 or 600 million. But again, it's just a cost of doing business. I mean, it's like Merrill got fined a couple years ago for using the cash account shares of their customers worldwide for their own proprietary trading. Okay, I think they fined them 450 million or something like that. Well, you know, my dad, you know, who was a rancher and a pilot, you know, said if somebody's making that much money, they're screwing somebody. Okay, so the bottom line is you can't pay that kind of fine unless you're making enormous amounts of money, which of course is what they did. So from there,
so
very prescient words, right?
Yeah. You know, I think, not to say that this this suit that was brought on to Citadel has anything to do with AMC or GME, right? Because we don't know the dates. They did talk about it. I think that there was a time period that they were fining them for. I'm not sure if it's in the SEC paperwork. Did they show a time in here? No, I don't think they gave a time frame. So it says over a 5-year period, but they don't list the time period on the press release. Have you seen anything, T, about when it went down? When they were
For some reason, it was, maybe I just created my own time frame, but I was thinking it was 2016 to 2021.
That's what I thought.
2015 to 2020.
That's what I thought. Yeah, somewhere right before all the shenanigans happened in 2020, January 2021. That's what I thought I saw. But I don't see it here in the press release. But that doesn't mean that it's not in the
So
in the
just
suit.
to clarify and expand on what Wes Christian said, like, I don't think anybody that is watching, or very few, would argue that there's manipulation, including myself, manipulation, misreporting, malfeasance, and all of that, right? That's why a lot of us are in these plays. But I guess my caution to everybody is, don't go broke waiting on the SEC to suss these guys out. So if you do that, if you decide to stay in a play waiting on all of this stuff to be revealed, that's fine with me, and that's certainly your choice, as long as you're okay with it and you're not blaming the CEOs or anybody else. Make your own conscious choice, and do whatever feels right to you. But in a lot of plays, BBBY, MMTLP, all of these ones that I've talked about over the years, I think there's opportunities to get out with your money and not ride stuff down to zero, waiting on the law, the sheriff, to come to your rescue. You have to trade smart in all of these plays. And if you want to ride something down to zero to take a stance, I'm okay with that. But just take ownership of it yourself. That was your choice.
Good points. 100%. T, this is from Adam Aaron. This is his tweet. Just came up a few minutes ago. An announced deal ends the 5-month-long writer's strike pending an affirmative union member vote. Directors and writers' contracts now behind us. Only the Screen Actors Guild left to go. The world's movie theaters can celebrate extremely good news that progress is being made. Back to work is the sticker here. All right, so we got a tweet from AA, and we got a lot going on this weekend with the theaters and the market itself, huh?
I was reading some comments. What did AA say?
He said, an announced deal ends the 5-month-long writer's strike pending an affirmative union member vote. Directors and writers' contracts now behind us. Only the Screen Actors Guild left to go. The world's movie theaters can celebrate extremely good news that progress is being made. And he's got a little sticker here that says back to work.
All right.
A little sticky tab. So Marco was saying writer's strike over. Yeah. Adrian Chip in here. Grandpa Barney. How you doing today, Grandpa Barney? Says tentative agreement reached. Domrick says To the Moon. All right. Let's talk a little bit about To the Moon, because now that we're talking about the writers and actors getting back to work, let's talk about Dumb Money a little bit. What was your takeaway from them? If you had to give one person a takeaway coming out of the theater, what would be your, okay, here's my take on Dumb Money. It was an excellently directed story. It was terrible. Had the acting. What would you give it just overall? Forget the market part.
Just as it's hard for me, because I watched the whole GameStop thing. That's what got me interested in AMC. And I wish I had lived through trading the GameStop piece. I obviously was watching it, sitting here every day, and kind of, being my more conservative self, never saw it going to where it was going. But I wasn't involved with Reddit or watching Roaring Kitty at that time. But when I saw it run up to 400, of course, that got my attention, and I started paying more attention to the inner workings of retail traders and Reddit and all that. I think, as a history lesson, it's a great film to watch. Just the whole directing, the acting, all of it. It's a great movie, even if you didn't know what was going on. But it's hard for me to, having lived through the last 2.5, 3 years, to not have some connection to that movie and view it impartially. I think if you weren't involved with this, you might be sitting in the audience saying, why the fuck didn't these guys sell? If you've if you've lived the past couple of years, you get it a lot more. But I want to say one other thing, and maybe we can talk about this for a second. I want to talk about how Roaring Kitty analyzed GameStop.
Yeah, let's get into
because
that.
I analyze a lot of plays the same way, and I get a lot of shit for it. And I wonder, if he was here saying the same things now that he said back in 2019, 2020, if he would, be forced off the reservation because he wasn't pushing all of these conspiracy theories. Like, his analysis on GameStop was that it was fundamentally undervalued based on how he looked at the company, which he had spreadsheets full of financials and ratios, the same shit I do. And he had a reasonable price target of 2 billion market cap, which is less than half where it is right now. It'd be, in today's price, $6.56 at a 2 billion market cap. And he was fixated on the reported short interest of 100%. Like, I think that is very reasonable, and that's how I view plays. And I just wonder, would you guys hate him as much as you hate me for talking about fundamentals, financials, and reported short interest if he was still here in 2023 just talking about that? Because I didn't hear him talking about Ken Griffin or screwing Citadel or naked shorts or any of that stuff. He never talked about that.
Nope. Never did. You're right. And that was one of the big things I didn't realize, because I didn't watch Roaring Kitty that intently back then, right? I picked up on things as they were kind of developing. I was not watching him back in December or November or October of 2020. But that was interesting to me to see that he really was. He tried to negotiate and kind of weave around the short squeeze even notion. When people were talking about it, he was kind of like, maybe. That's why when he was so afraid when Congress subpoenaed him, I'm like, man, this guy's got nothing to worry about. He didn't even try to say that a short squeeze was imminent. It was just like, hey guys, if people keep buying and these guys want to keep shorting, it's going to eventually go up. And as the fundamentals did get better and we came out of the pandemic, we knew that things were going to go back to normal at that point, right? The stock came up along with the other memes.
And
that was interesting.
He had a strong belief that management could cut costs, and that the fucking gaming boxes, whatever you call them, the transition, the new gaming systems. Were the consoles. That's the word I was
consoles.
That the market wasn't factoring that in correctly. He had a good fundamental analysis, and the price was damn cheap when he started buying. Right, until he went and doubled down after his congressional testimony when he exercised those calls. Then he definitely went in heavy at the end. But his best thing that he did was what I always tell you guys: look for a good entry. Look for a good entry and understand the financials. So I think he had a good grasp on both of those.
100%. Yeah, he really did. He was keeping it very based and grounded, right? He wasn't running off the rails with the rest of social media, which, if you go back, you can go back and research and see what was being said on Reddit back then, right? You can see what they were talking about on Wall Street Bets. And he was pretty good at drowning out a lot of the hoopla, or at least the movie presented it that way, right? That he was trying to stay focused on just the fundamentals of the company. And then once it started to squeeze, he realized that we were in a massive short squeeze, right? Or I don't even know if he realized it at first, how monumental it was going to be, because the guy was acting, obviously. I don't know what was going on in his real head, but when he started to see it start to pop, he knew there was a squeeze coming. And, he held out. And, when you're comparing this to AMC, going back and looking at that, it is a completely different animal, man. There's just no comparison between the two right now. Maybe you could have said that in
There's no
early
comparison to
2021.
any play. When you have 100% short interest, it's night and day different.
That was reported.
Yeah.
You
Floyd says, I think Tony's hated for pushing the yes vote. Floyd, I'd take exception to that. Like anyone who's saying they're mad at me for pushing the yes vote is pushing a false narrative. I'm going to be very blunt about that. They are lying to you. I provided coverage of both what I thought would happen to the company with both a yes and no vote. No one knows what was going to happen to the price. I said that the yes vote was going to pass because I believed that it would. I never told anyone how to vote, not one time, and I never disclosed how I was going to vote prior to the vote happening. So to say that I pushed the yes vote is a falsehood. I tried to always provide equal coverage of the good and the bad of both a yes and a no vote. And the company, let's be real, the company needed cash and that vote was going to go through. Now, for me to tell you that I think the vote is going to pass and that the settlement is going to go through, if you want to somehow twist that into I was pushing for it, I'm going to say no. I was telling you my conviction that I thought all of that would happen. And I urged all of you to vote your conscience, vote your heart. I never pushed a vote. That is a falsehood.
I'm just thinking back to that time. I know that we wanted to get rid of Ape. We were pushing that maybe that we wanted to see Ape disappear. Now that came along with the conversion, right? But Ape just seemed to be not doing very well, right? We just continue to see it get absolutely hammered. And then it dipped all the way down to what, 65 cents, guys? And then we brought it back up with some of the news back to that $1.50 range, but it was on its way back down again, right? So the dilution was coming. And I think we said that no matter what, one way or another, you were going to see dilution with this stock, whether it be a billion apes or 40 million AMCs after a reverse split, man, right? That's all we really, said beforehand. And again, me and Tony, we don't put a non-financial advice thing in the beginning of our videos because we're never giving financial advice. Like, we're trying to state facts and give you guys news and speculation on numbers and fundamentals and how they could improve if you look back historically year over year and, doing some analysis on charts, which we don't even do that much because this play is so different. AMC is so different than any other ticker out there, really, besides, its cousins in the meme area.
I think it was important for you guys to know that I thought that the yes vote was likely to go through and that the settlement was likely to go through so that, if you believe that, which many people didn't, that you could get on the right side of the trade. And the people who didn't believe that, who fought it all the way along, a lot of them are really mad right now, but I blame that on their own belief system, their own due diligence, which did not allow them to see the right way to get on the Ape versus AMC part of the trade. And now they're mad at Adam Aaron, but we've been talking for most of this year about what we thought was most likely to happen. It's up to you guys to listen to that and make up your own mind. So
yeah, we can't prepare you guys for stuff we don't even know is coming, right? We can't get inside. We couldn't get inside the mind of Judge Zern back in Delaware, right? We could only go off what we were seeing in the courtroom, what was being said, the testimony from the witnesses. And, because I was down there, I got a little better perspective of some of the judges' reactions and stuff. But other than that, that's all we had to go off of was speculation of how the judge was going to proceed with the case. And if we had told you one way or the other, we would have been lying to you because we just didn't know what was going to happen with that case, right? We just didn't know how that was going to settle
out. We didn't know,
but
based on my reading of all the filings, knowing that many attorneys from many companies on Tara, probably Citigroup, AMC, had looked at this, that it had SEC approval, and it had been done at other companies prior. It just seemed very unlikely to me that the judge was not going to approve that settlement.
And
So
yeah, and I know I talked to you guys when I was on the road. When I left Delaware, we did a live stream. I talked about them not showing up the next day, all the witnesses that never came on Friday, and the testimony that was given on Thursday. I thought that it was a good chance that the Judge Zimmerman was going to proceed and allow this reverse conversion to go through after, just based off the testimony that was given in the courtroom and her reaction on Friday, seeing no one show up. And honestly, some of the testimony that was given was emotional and had nothing really to do with this particular case and what was going on, what we were actually fighting for, or what they were fighting for.
I know a lot of people are mad at Adam Aaron. A lot of people are mad at David Mishery. A lot of people are mad at John Berta. A lot of people are mad at Ryan Cohen for selling Bed Bath & Beyond. Guys, you have to take ownership of your investment choices. You need to understand the financials of the companies you're investing in and step away from all the clickbait bullshit. The company, Adam Aaron, AMC, is doing what they have to do to ensure the company doesn't go bankrupt. That's how I'm looking at this play. I get it. You have every right to be mad at the price. And like I said earlier, even I didn't expect it to go down to this level. This is ridiculous. But companies are going to do what they need to do. And if you're investing in companies that are losing money and burning cash, you're going to be diluted. It's just, if you hold on to them long enough, it's inevitable. That's why I want you to subscribe to the channel, watch the videos, learn how to read financial statements, and reject people that tell you that that is not important. I know you didn't get into it for a fundamental play. I did not either, but we're not in 2021 and we don't have $1.8 billion in cash on the balance sheet. You need to fucking pay attention to the financial statements. I will help you.
Yeah. Financials are important, guys. Now that we are in this space that we're in, again, like T just said, this play has continued to develop and evolve over time. And as things change around us, it changes the entire play itself, right? Depending on what way the market is going at every given day can have an effect on the price action. I mean, it's
when companies get low on cash, they start doing a lot of things that you're not going to like, and that
they look desperate.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be dilution or more debt, and both are going to be bad for you. We see this play out time after time after time, and it's not just AMC. It's hundreds of companies that are negative revenue make these choices every single week. And people get mad at the CEO, but you have to be smart about what you're investing in. And you can't ignore the financial statements. You got to be cognizant of what's going on so that you can forecast what is likely to happen.
And also think about what's going on in the market as far as all of the details and the underlyings here, as far as payment for order flow and where the orders are getting routed and who's in control of that. That is constantly changing too, right? And we're getting people that are out there doing their due diligence, looking into some of these other companies and some of the things they're doing. And obviously the SEC is, because they just charged Citadel with doing something that we've been screaming about now for 2.5 years. So the conspiracy theories have been put to bed, but as long as they continue to use these tactics, volatility is going to be off the chain with this. And people aren't going to know which way this is going on any given day, based off technical analysis or historical data or any of that. Box office, with this type of a play, you really, all of those things, you have to take all of those things into consideration, but not one of them is going to point you into a definite direction to give you an answer about what's going to happen tomorrow. We're never going to know that with this play.
Floyd,
it's just, and I know that's with everything, but especially with the AMC.
Floyd says that if it runs up, he's going to dilute again. I 100% agree with you, Floyd. And I want you guys to hear what I'm saying now and what Floyd just said. If it runs up, he's going to dilute again. Hear what I'm saying. This company needs cash. The balance sheet is a fucking train wreck. They've got $3 billion in debt. coming due in 2026. They need to fix the balance sheet. The only thing this company is worried about is fixing the balance sheet, and there will be more dilution.
Nelson says, Tony, why did you want the yes vote so bad to go through? Did you have more ape than AMC? Can I answer this? Actually, go ahead. Go ahead. He's a question for you. Go ahead.
It's funny because at the time that everyone was saying, "Oh, Tony's ape heavy," I had equal amount of both, right?
I know.
Prior to May 6th.
I know.
And then as the discovery documents came out, thank you to the no voters that got the discovery documents posted. As the discovery documents came out and we read through all of those, it became very apparent to me what the company was trying to do, and and I did not see, in my view, any illegality in what had happened. Was it going to potentially be bad for the price? Yes. But was it illegal? No. So on May 6th, around that time, only maybe a week after I made my ape heavy video, I think right before that, I had just said I was not ape heavy, and I wasn't. But around May 6th, when the spread got really, really high between ape and AMC, and we were going through all the discovery documents, the light bulb went off and I did a spreadsheet and I shared it in the Discord, and I shared it with Massalori, it was shared with KC Shaw. It was shared with a lot of people. Some opted not to talk about it. Some opted to look at it and do nothing. And some opted to make a gamble, right? Because we didn't know for sure what was going to happen. But that spreadsheet showed with math that if you held AMC all the way through, that you were likely going to get wrecked if everything played out the way that we thought. So on May 6th, when AMC was $6 and ape was $1.50, on that day, I sold all my AMC and moved all that money into ape because I didn't want to ride AMC down anymore. And it only went lower than that, except for that one day where it popped up to $8. And I wanted to be positioned for what I thought was going to happen, that the settlement would be approved, and that yes, I lost money selling my AMC for $6, but I didn't want to write it down more. That's cutting your losses. You have to do that with trading sometimes. And I recouped that when ape went up to 225. So hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, I mean, when we were talking about it, you weren't ape heavy. Yes. What I remember was at that time when we were discussing that, you were not ape heavy at all. You had still the equal amount of shares, I'm pretty sure. Like you said, we waited for discovery to come out. Then we talked about what was being said in the courtroom. All those things played on our emotions in order to get us to react in one way or another, whether you decided to hold and do nothing like I did, or like Tony did. He chose to flip his shares, right? Which in the end was, and whether that was because,
but it was still a gamble, right? Like
it was a gamble, right?
But it was still a gamble. That's why I don't, that's why I didn't like say, oh, by the way, I'm selling all my AMC and moving it to ape, because what if I'm fucking wrong? Then everyone's going to want me. They're going to want my head on a platter for telling them to do something that didn't work out. I don't want that responsibility. I just share the DD. I don't do buy, sell, hold shit.
Or imagine if the judge turned it down and everyone went in ape heavy because you told them to, and now they're holding all this ape that's constantly falling on them.
Yeah,
they'd be like, "What the fuck,
I could have
Tony?"
been absolutely wrecked if the judge didn't end up doing what I thought she would do.
Michael says excuses. Super Steven says, and this is true, guys. This is 100% true. Fact checked. I personally emailed Macedonia the day I went in all on ape. It was a gamble, but I was right. That is 100% true, man. I had a chance to make the call just like all these guys did, and I made a bad choice, right? And that is sometimes the licks that you take in this gamble. Every day is a gamble. And there was a good chance I thought that could happen, but my perspective said, well, there's no way they're going to trash it as hard as they actually have. So I was wrong in that. Had I known that they would come down this far after the reverse split, I would have been fucking gonzo, right? But I didn't expect that to happen. I thought, okay, I can just hold my shares. I'll still be safe. Either way, it won't make that much of a difference. The stock price will bounce up. We'll be somewhere where we should be. Ape will be gone, and I won't have to worry about it too much. But that was a bad call, Ripley. Bad call, right? It's a bad call.
Even in my own Discord where I posted the math and the spreadsheet, I just posted it basically with no comment and said, you ought to look at these different scenarios and ask questions. I was not in there telling anybody, you need to sell your AMC. Like, I don't do that.
You can't.
I don't.
You can't.
No, I can't be responsible for telling people what to do. I present the DD, the same stuff that I talked to you guys about here.
Michael goes from excuses to BBYQ is the play. Anya says, so glad I listened to the Discord. Yeah, T, I mean, again, if she had changed her mind, then everyone would be getting tagged with Ape until a new suit was, or something was brought forth that was going to fix that conversion split, right? I mean, it could have got hammered. You just don't know. And I made a bad call, and I got to live with that. But as far as like my loyalty to the community or anything like that, you can't be questioned because I just didn't know far ahead of time how this was going to play out. I couldn't possibly tell you that. Another reason why we don't do not financial advice disclaimers before our live streams is we're not in here giving financial advice. We've never told anyone to buy or sell anything, right? It's not even necessary at this point.
I watched a lot of people struggle with that decision, like to take something that you've thought was going to happen, a short squeeze, and then make that willing decision to move your AMC money over to Ape. That's a gut-wrenching moment. But I believe in math, and I believed in my own DD, what was likely to happen. It still was gut-wrenching.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't feel good.
What if I was wrong? I would have been wiped out.
Yeah.
If Ape went, if the settlement was not approved and Ape crashed, I would have been wiped out.
And everyone that went along with you after you told them that would have been in the same position, and you would have been just getting it from that side. So,
but instead, what ended up happening is we had people in the Discord that were down a couple $100,000. You know, they made almost all that money back.
Yep, that was a big help to a lot of people, right? Who and look, there's going to be opportunities to make money in the future, guys. There's going to be always, the market's going to be there. Now, I'll say for myself, T, and just going back to the movie, because I didn't really talk about what I thought about it, but it honestly, in the first 15 minutes, I almost walked out of the theater. Like when I saw Cohen and them getting stretched and the, running around, and Plotkin just with his laissez-faire attitude about how heavy they were shorting on GameStop. Like the whole thing to me, and after seeing how they were able to, and knowing how they maneuver things behind the scenes as well as we do compared to just a regular moviegoer, right? It made me upset, and it again,
because it's true. That's how they think about us.
I know.
I was a little sick to my stomach in that part too. Like these motherfuckers, like this is really how they talk about retail traders. Like they have, but Plotkin, he was a little too cocky. He got a little too over the skis on his shorting, and he got what he deserved.
Yeah, and he got bailed out, but I mean, eventually he went. Yeah,
just fucking phone call. He can borrow $3 billion
from either guy was ready to give it to him. Griffin, he went to Griffin and Cohen, and they're fighting over who's gonna. It's like bail him out. It's crazy. I mean, you would just never see that happen in anywhere else except in the financial world. Just shows you how crooked they are behind closed doors. That really upset me. And the other thing that I thought that I took away from the movie was, this is, and they said it at the end, like this is it was fortified by the press release from the SEC on Friday. This shit is still going on. And I can't point to it in AMC and we're going to talk about Finger in a little bit, or any of these other stocks, that everyone's involved with now. But man, I just, I've lost a lot of faith in the market and over the last couple of years. And again, I don't think it's getting fixed anytime soon, because if they really expose the market for what's going on, it would chase away everyone and their mother. And they can't afford to do that right now in the midst of 40-year highs in inflation and an 8% interest rate and everything else that's going on, a collapsing housing market. If you add on top of that, and our treasury bonds right now and the dollar stability, like, just to remember back in 2021 when it was in the November release from the Federal Reserve, Jay Powell and the board there, they were worried about the meme stock craze, right? They had seen how unstable we have the ability to make the market when people team up and do these things. And it made me wonder after that, how much time and effort have they put into making sure that can never happen again, right? Seeing what happened and just, you have to imagine to yourself that these guys have done everything within their power to make sure that they can't get caught with their pants down like that ever again, right? You would think. So again, is the SEC going to expose that in some broad report that they release to the world and say, hey, our markets are completely corrupt. Our short interest is underreported all the time. You got to pick and choose your little battles here. 7 million doesn't seem like a lot of money to Citadel, right? But it's them trying to placate, I would say, and say, okay, well, we know you made 16 billion off this, but we're going to make sure your name gets in the paper. It's humiliating to Ken Griffin and Citadel, right? It's not a good look for them. I don't think they give a shit, but I think the SEC is trying to placate a little bit. And again, you don't think the timing is suspicious at all. I tend to disagree with that, but to each his own, right?
Yep. Well, we often have different views, Master Lorim.
Yeah.
It's not
That's
not
okay,
like I
right?
give you talking points.
No, not in a long time. I'm just kidding. No, you do not give me talking points. We usually come to most agreements on most things, but sometimes we don't. We don't see eye to eye on everything, and that's okay, right? We're two completely different people, come from two completely different worlds, other side of the country, and we're not going to see eye to eye on everything, but we give each other the respect to come on here and express our opinions. And, that's why I continue to stick with Tony, and I show loyalty to Tony because, he's been in this with me from the start. And I'm just not a person that's going to cut off someone that I know that has good intentions, at least as far as I'm concerned. And what he decides to do with his money is ultimately up to him. And that goes for all of you guys in the chat too, as well, right now. It is ultimately up to you guys what you do with your money.
I enjoy dissenting opinions as long as people can be respectful about it. And what I have seen in a lot of different retail communities is people aren't able to have healthy discussions about dissenting opinions.
No.
That's been the most disappointing thing of the last 2 years. And I've seen it in many, many communities. You guys have seen it too.
Yep. Some people almost seem rabid when it comes to dissenting views, and they just want to go after everybody. And look, there's a lot of emotion involved with the stock market, but again, trying to take that out of it is the best thing for you if you can get away from that emotional part of trading and just keep it about the balance books.
That's key, right? I mean, if you're emotional about any trade, then you're going to make mistakes. So if you're attacking people, if you're emotional, passionate about something to the point where it's affecting how you interact with people, then your emotions are not in control, and you're going to make trading mistakes. So I want to see you guys cultivate a cold-blooded, dead ability to look at stocks.
Yeah.
So that and we're going to talk about that in some upcoming videos on my channel about how to have some buy decisions and some sell decisions that are black and white on every trade that you go into, so that you can not lose money, so that you have some framework on any play. That's how I approach most plays. I gave AMC 2 years ignoring my usual rules, and I lost money on, because of some of the shares that I bought at the late part of 2021. when I sold those at $6, I took a loss on those, but I was in it for the community, but it was not working out. This play was not working out. And we saw what was coming with the settlement and the dilution, and it was likely not going to end very well. So at some point I had to say, look, I can't keep on treating this like an orphan. I need to go back to my normal trading rules and be a little more emotionless about this play. And I'm going to be talking to you guys more about not AMC, but as you're looking at plays, what is your buy criteria? What is your sell criteria? You should know your sell criteria before you buy anything.
And going back to the reverse split, Tony, I mean, do you think that you looking for a yes vote really made any difference in the grand scheme of things when it comes to the way the votes went down in that?
I think
decision?
that most of these companies always get the vote that they want, right? I wasn't looking or pushing for a yes vote. I was confident a yes vote would happen
Was coming.
because they always fucking get the vote they need 95% of the time. Like, first of all, big institutions know that the company's balance sheet is fucked. They're going to approve the yes vote. They don't want it to be a penny stock under $5 on the NYSE.
No one does.
The reverse split was going to be approved. No matter how much we didn't want it, it was going to happen, and it needed to happen for the financial health of the company. In the short term, right now,
it's painful.
Short term being the next year, it's going to be fucking unpleasant.
Yeah.
But for investors that get in at the right price or who are patient enough to wait for the company to get profitable, it could work out. But the timeline your timeline is, when does this company get profitable? What are they telling you? What's AMC saying, Mass? 2025,
2025. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Go buy the fucking 10 Qs. Go buy what they're telling you. Quit creating your own narrative. The best information you can get is what the company's telling you. And a lot of people push back. Oh, they want us to sell. I don't do that with any stock. I take them at their word. And I think that looking at the box office forecast, that's a reasonable timeline, 2025. If we're really lucky, maybe we'll make some profits in 2024 quarters.
Think about some of the decisions that we decided to make. We decided to watch the CEO sell off of his shares and not take a hint from that for the end of 2020.
That's another rule that should not be violated. If you see insiders selling, and I think I probably, ignored it back in 2021 when AMC insider sold, I'm not going to fucking do that again. Yeah. And I have often sell stocks when I see insiders selling at a run up. Even if I like the stock, if they're selling, I'm paying attention to it, and I'll happily rebuy it after it comes back down. And I should have done that with AMC back in 2021. That is a new immutable rule on this channel. If insiders are selling, you better fucking pay attention. How many people did I have to argue with for weeks when Ryan Cohen sold Bed Bath & Beyond a year ago?
Yep.
A bunch. Yeah. But, I had absolute luck that I had sold my call options before the day of Ryan Cohen's announcement. After hours, I had just sold call options on BBBY as it ran up to $30, and I never looked back. Like, once they sell, you ought to be fucking paying attention.
Yeah.
And for those that asking, what do I think of BBBY? I was out of that play at $30, and I've been negative on it based on the financial statements and everything, the dilution, the convertibles. There was zero chance. That company had zero chance. Now in the bankruptcy, all the assets have been sold off. It will be completely dead in about a week.
Yep.
I love the entertainment from PP Seeds. I have nothing bad to say about him, but I feel bad that for people that are creating their own narrative. They're reading the same documents I'm reading, and they're like, but what if, but what if, but what if? Okay. I mean, that's your choice. I'm not gonna crucify you for making your choice, but I don't agree with it. I'm looking at it just black and white. Hey, can y'all keep it down? Scarlett.
You know, we did a lot of unorthodox things over the last 2.5 years that typically we would shy away from. And that is a fact that I have to live with every day, right? There are many unorthodox things we said. So, or did. And now looking forward into the future, right? Because someone said, why y'all talking about the past? Talk about the future. Be wary of what's going on, guys, and really stay on top of everything. Know the facts of what the chances are of hitting certain numbers for quarters, and know what that bottom line might do the price action on a run up or the opposite, right? Really staying on top of this and making sure that the next time there's an opportunity to make money, don't be like me and be smart about it and get your attendees, right? I mean, they kept showing attendees in the movie, and every time they would show a shot of them checking their phones, I was seriously, it was like flashbacks when I was going back to checking my account, right? All the times when it was running. And there was a lot of opportunities that I could have pushed the sell button and I didn't. And still I'm here holding this long and nothing has worked out so far. Again, that's why Tony and myself, as far as more recently, have been talking about just taking profits when you can, right? I mean, certainly you can always wait for that one massive squeeze or some type of and let's talk about that real quick before finger tea, because I see a lot of people on social media still talking about margin calls that are coming, and now that the collapses are here, or it's upon us. Apparently, it's everyone said it's going to be tomorrow, the next day.
The collapse of the market is going to force everybody to
close their short positions,
squeeze their favorite stock.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I mean,
4% short interest right now.
Let's be real. All hedge funds have hedging for a market crash. You can go in and look at the 13Fs and look at their calls and puts. You can see what they're hedged for. I don't. That's not a talking point that I talk about on my channel. That if the market crashes, hedgies are fucked. If the market crashes, they're going to do just fine on their puts. And in my belief, and every fucking stock is going to get obliterated.
Yeah, there's going to be no rest for the weary at that point.
That's what I think. That's what I think.
Yeah, we got to be careful with that language, guys. Be careful with that. If there's some type of catalyst that causes this thing to pop off, I don't think it's going to be the market crashing that's going to do that. And again, as I was saying earlier, that article that they wrote back in 2021, at the end of 2021, the J Powell and the Fed wrote about, we do have that ability to cause those massive squeezes, right? And those massive moves. We've done it with other smaller cap stocks, not me personally, but you've seen it happen out in the retail market, right? You've seen stocks run 1,000, 2,000%. We saw it with GME and AMC. So it's not like we can't get back to focused on that. But as far as this just willy-nilly being able to happen in today's market with some of the tools that we know that they're using, I mean, do you guys believe that that was an honest mistake by Citadel in the way they were marking things? It could be, I guess. Maybe it was an honest mistake, but you're telling me everything else was correct except for that? That's the only thing that didn't work in the algo when you were making these decisions. Okay, I guess that's possible. I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. But again, you're encouraging them to be corrupt and manipulative when you are charging them $7 million in fines on a $13 billion profitable year. It's pennies on the dollar, less than pennies on the dollar. And if you're going to give me that opportunity to continue to take 100% and only pay you back 10 when I get caught stealing your money, I'm going to take that option 10 times out of 10. So, will things get fixed? I hope so. I hope this movie helps a little bit. I hope that a turn in the political world is going to help a little bit, but again, the corruption runs all the way up the chain through the SEC to the Treasury Department. The Fed, everybody is doing something nefarious right now, and they are not. I don't think they're going to allow us to be a potential threat to the market, like Jay Powell and the Fed pointed out in November of 2021. I think they want to take that threat off the table with such a volatile economy right now, and considering who's in charge with the administration, right? I don't think they can afford to get any more egg on their face before they run to election season. That's just my thought.
They just have the ability to shut anything down willy-nilly whenever they want. That's the infuriating thing.
Right. The whole buy button thing, Tony, and seeing Vlad arguing with his buddy there and him saying, you got to take care of this. And, Vlad was saying, I did, by taking away the buy button and saying that we have liquidity issues, that's taking care of it. What's going to happen? We'll have to testify in front of Congress in 2 weeks. And we will have, people who have donated heavily to our campaigns, like Ken Griffin, who's given money to both sides of the aisle, right? And we have both sides of the aisle in there testifying or questioning him, right? And I'm sure they weren't going to, looking back at it now, I realize how manipulated our government is, considering lobbyists and who is paying to campaign them and get them into their seats of power. It's become very clear to me that there is a, what's it called? There is a, when you have a conflict of interest, there's just a little bit of a conflict of interest when the people who are deposing you and who are questioning you are also some of the biggest receivers of campaign donations who get them elected. So
Michael says GME insiders are buying. Yeah, I've seen that, Michael. It's something definitely you can factor into your analysis when you're looking at GME. A lot of things to look at with GameStop. That's one of many pieces.
Hey, did you see Jim Cramer getting questioned about BBBY? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I did watch that video. I tweeted to Kais Malej. I said, you should have had him sign one of those bottles. Congrats on the BBBY squeeze, just in case.
If it happens, that'd be funny to have his signature.
if in a week something happens that we're not expecting, it would have been funny if Kai's already had the signed bottle.
Yeah, right. You want to play it? I'm going to play it real quick. It was pretty funny. I think I have it on Twitter right now. Cramer. Here we go.
Every time I'm not on, I can check groups. What do you need me to do? How do you want me to explain what you have to say? Okay.
Hello. I need 2, please.
Sure. You want to try some?
Yeah.
Would you like to try the Toba?
Which one is the better?
I think this is
This
better.
one?
But that's just a personal thing.
Hey, Kramer's brand here, or is he just promoting this booze?
I haven't been paying attention to know which one of those it is. I don't know. It's one or the other.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Jennifer, thank you for stopping in.
No, that's good. I'm gonna be driving, so I don't want to get drunk. Can I have 2 and I have them signed by Jim Cramer?
Black bottles?
Yes, please. First one.
There we go.
Sure. Ew, nice to meet you.
I need 2 signed.
Sure. And who should I make?
So, first one, congratulations.
Oh.
The congratulations on the baby was a little cringe, knowing that Kais had called the hospital posing as Ryan Cohen
on your new baby.
Oh,
to
really?
check on
true?
the baby. Yeah.
He's got a gold Sharpie. Wow. He's not fucking around, huh?
There we go. You gotta be careful. You don't want to get
wanna
them like this.
Yeah. Maybe you can. All right.
And this one is.
And this one.
Okay.
This one is thank you, Bill, for everything.
Okay. Careful. I'll write that well. Bill.
I guess he will shill for anything, huh? Cramer?
Well, you
Man.
write Bill, I know that.
Yeah.
There we go. You're terrific.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.
All right, hold on.
And maybe we can get some pictures, Lisa.
That's fine.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah,
The
I
movie's
got it.
good enough?
Can we add here? Where's the name? I'll hold it. Can you add here? Cohen. Cohen.
Cohen?
Yeah. C-O-H-E-N.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're terrific. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Really great. I hope you enjoy. I hope your friends enjoy it. Okay.
And
Hope your friends
Jimmy,
enjoy
you're
it.
great. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're. Thank
And
you.
I want to tell you something.
Oh, thank
Doors
you.
never close for Bed Bath & Beyond. Give you the right here.
Never close.
Yes, sir.
Never.
We should
They
short
never
that
close.
mezcal company right now. Whoever makes that tequila.
I saw that PP Seeds was going to meet with Bill Pulte.
Oh, yeah?
and do a live stream. I don't know if it was today or tomorrow.
Michael says Pulte is part of the conglomerate that Ryan Cohen is building with Carl Icahn. What are they doing?
Oh, the scuttlebutt, the word on the street, Massalorian, is that Pulte and Ryan Cohen and Carl Icahn, they're going to take what's left of Bed Bath & Beyond and create this new company under Teddy. And maybe even they're going to rope in, what are these guys saying? They're going to rope in Radio Shack and Sears and put it all on the blockchain and create this unstoppable force.
With
I mean,
those with those IPOs? Yeah.
The theories out there are pretty wild, but we'll know in a week. Stay tuned.
Okay. That would be interesting. I'd like to see what they do with that. Maybe this will be the disruptor we've been waiting for with Ryan Cohen.
Maybe that'll
my
be the
breath, but-
catalyst for
maybe that'll
GameStop
be
and
it.
AMC.
Maybe that'll be it. All right. So what did we we want to talk about Finger a little bit. So you were
Finger,
saying
yeah.
that people might be surprised on your take on Finger. So why don't you go ahead and give it to
So-
them? I run to the bathroom.
Anyone who's watched my channel or followed me on Twitter for a long time knows I didn't just start following Finger. Anytime a stock is moving, I'm following it. But I try not to comment because people don't like my comments because I approach things from a different perspective than many retail traders. So I've just been sitting on the sidelines with Finger and commenting in my Discord from time to time, mostly. But I did read, I spent a good portion of yesterday refreshing my due diligence. And I'm going to probably drop a video on this tomorrow. But there's the Tony Denaro DD on Finger. We'll talk about that. And then there's the conspiracy theory a la AMC, GameStop, moonshot theory on the other side with Finger. And most of that other side is banking all of their hopes and dreams of life-changing wealth. This is the words they're using. Finger and GTI are going to provide a life-changing wealth squeeze based on billions or trillions of naked shorts. Like, where have you heard that before, Massalorian? Every other fucking retail play, right? Every play recycles the same talking points. So I want just to point that out, that these talking points get recycled and you guys need to be cognizant of that. Be self-aware. Make sure you're not falling into the same trap, just under a different wrapper, different wrapping, like a Christmas present. But the way that they approach the Finger and the GTII to bolster their evidence of naked shorts is using the daily short volume report, because there is no short interest on these stocks. There's essentially none. Like GTII has under 1% reported and Finger has just over 2%. So that being said, I don't think that's any secret to the people that are pumping it, but maybe the people that are investing in it think it really is a heavily shorted stock. Maybe they haven't done their DD. So I'm just raising awareness so you can't come back and blame those YouTubers later and say, no one told me. hey, if you don't like the information I'm sharing, then that's fine. At least you had the opportunity to review it. And if you discard it, then you made a conscious choice and you're taking ownership of whatever happens to your investment. That's fine. I'm not here to talk anybody out of a play. What I think is disingenuous is when people don't share both sides. Daily short volume, I posted some articles for people to read to get educated on what daily short volume is and is not. And I'm not going to go through all of that tonight, but I encourage you to go find my post on Twitter or on my community tab of YouTube and read through those articles. At least then, like I said, you can make an informed decision in whatever you want to invest in. If people are being honest with you about what is really going on, maybe they're right. I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus, but I think that they are misusing these reports to foster a FOMO pump on these stocks. That is my belief. Now, that being said, so that's what I think. I don't believe that the daily short volume should be used to pump billions of naked shorts. I don't believe that. They won't argue with me because they don't have any evidence of stuff. Same thing, same reason for the last 2 years. I don't talk about naked shorts because I try and keep things data driven. It's no different than how I've approached the AMC stock over the last 2 years. I don't talk about things that I can't prove. Do they potentially exist? Yes. Has everybody lost in almost every play over the last couple of years believing in that? Also, yes. So I just want you to be careful. You can make your own choices. You're all grown-ups, but then own your choice yourself. The black and white on Finger is they are going to dilute more. So if you're mad at AMC for diluting, if you're mad at Mullen for diluting, there's going to be, without a doubt, more dilution coming for Finger. 100% guarantee it. Why do I say that? Is it because I hate Finger? No, because the company is telling you in the 10Qs that they're not profitable. They need to grow. And in order to grow, they need to put more deposits in place with the phone companies in China. And they don't have the money to do that. And they have two choices to raise that money. I'm summarizing what they are telling you in the 10Q. They said, we're going to do more dilution or we're going to take on more debt because we need more cash to grow the business. So with 100% certainty, there's dilution coming with Finger. If you want to stay invested in that play, thinking you're going to get a life-changing short squeeze, knowing that they're going to dilute, hey, I wish you luck. But you see what happens time after time when dilution is on the plate. The S3 has already been filed. They're waiting on SEC approval, registration of the shares. There will be dilution coming on Finger.
So they dropped that announcement back on September 11th.
The S3,
so
but the 10Q's been out there for months. The problem is nobody reads the 10Q's. I read them. I'm a nerd. Yeah. What else? They're not making money. They need to grow. There's more dilution coming. Oh, the other thing that you should know about Finger, if you're going to be stuck holding it for a year, that they disclose in the 10Q. And again, this is not anything specific to Finger. This is a long-held belief I've had for years. I've got a playlist on Chinese stocks on my YouTube channel, and I divested from all of them a couple years ago because of concerns about the Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act. And Finger tells you in their 10Q, we might be delisted from NASDAQ in early 2024. I'm not making this up. It's there in the 10Q. They have unaudited financials and they're on the list to be potentially delisted. So will that happen? I don't know. Should you be aware of it? Absolutely. Because that is a risk to your investment. Go watch my videos on the Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act and at least be aware. So you can't say, no one told me. What? They're getting delisted. Where did this come from? I was holding it for life-changing wealth. All right. That's the end of my Tony DD on finger. The things you need to be aware of, the potential gotchas. I can't say when or if any of those will come true, but these are company disclosed things you need to be aware of. That being said, now let's talk about the positive. And Avid Trader and Teddy Zane and some other people have pointed out a couple things that I want to now highlight on the positive. And this is very tinfoil. And I already talked about this in my Discord. So for anybody saying I'm hating on Finger, check yourself, because I already posted the positive in my Discord. But it is very tinfoil that these Chinese pump and dump stocks, and they go back years, they have the unique ability to pump for no reason out of nowhere. And it's not because they were a short squeeze. It's because China investors, China executives use them, China hedge funds use them as a cash grab. They come to the US markets to take over a company, rebrand it like Finger did. They took over, I forget what it was. I forget, it was a child care company or something, and rebranded it as Finger Motion, a mobile services company. They set up these companies to pump them. So there could be a pump. It's not going to be because of a short squeeze. And you'll have a window, if that happens, where you could make some money. That could happen. But you're betting on a pump and dump, and you better be fucking ready, if it happens, to hit that eject button and take your damn profits. So could Finger run? Yes. Will it be because of a short squeeze? Absolutely not. And when the pump is done, these things will tank in less than a day. They'll tank 40, 50, 60% in a matter of hours. So if it happens, and I hope it does, I might even buy some at the right price just in case, because it's starting to come back down to a little more reasonable risk reward scenario. If it pumps, take the fucking money.
Yeah. Be ready to pull the trigger.
Because you're not going to have a chance once it starts coming down to get out. It's going to be ruthlessly red when it happens. And I have some example tickers that I posted in the Discord of companies for you to look at that similar things happen to, just pumps out of nowhere. WTEG is one. WETG pumped to $9,000 out of nowhere. Doing a secondary offering with Univest. HUDI did a pump to almost $200, it looks like, doing a secondary offering with Univest. TOP pumped to a couple $100, doing a secondary offering with Univest. I'm not saying that the secondary offering was what caused the pump. The secondary offering is the cash extraction from you. They get you buying while they're doing the offering, just like, you know, every company wants to do. And the final one is GDC, Golf Delta Charlie. So check those tickers out. They all 100% had secondary offerings with Univest. They all had massive pumps. And that is potentially, this is very tinfoil, very speculative, certainly no guarantee. Potentially, there could be a pump on Finger. Or maybe the run up to 8 was the pump. See, that's what we don't know. You're basically gambling. So be judicious about what you're investing. And if it runs up, take the fucking money.
True. Barry Electronic says, hello, all awesome. What's the good news? So we're talking
Yeah,
about the deal was struck with the
Fingers.
writers.
The reason I pointed out those 4 tickers, Finger, when they do their secondary offering here in the next couple of weeks, it will also be with Univest. So I'm not going to ignore the obvious. Like, yeah, there are Chinese stocks doing secondary offerings. There were a bunch more that had IPOs with Univest, but I'm not using those as examples because I wanted to focus on the secondary offerings. There could be a coming pump on this stock. It won't be because of shorts getting screwed or, bankrupting Lind. That's all fucking nonsense. It will be because investors in China, hedge funds in China, are going to extract money from dummies who buy at the top on a run up. So if you're in early and it runs, take the damn money.
Maximus says, keep your finger on the trigger. Yeah, literally, keep your finger, FNGR, on the trigger. 100%. Candice says, finger is also doing uninvest. Harry Parrots,
Univest. It is
the company they're going through, right?
Yeah. The word is escaping me at the
Yep, me too. Someone asked, what was the good news today? If you're asking about for the theaters, I saw someone ask Barry Electronics.
Underwriter's a damn word. Thank you.
Underwriter.
Mark.
We got a deal done. The writers at least got a deal done with the production companies. Seems like it's almost midnight now on the East Coast. So it's 9 out here. So yeah, they're about to ham out a deal right now for the writers. So that's good news for the theaters. We've been on 180 something day strike. So 4 months of material now is going to be backlogged, and they're going to have to play some catch up, and they're going to have to do probably some extra hiring, right? Bring on some more people to help get things back in motion, because as we see, not the theaters, but the production companies lost a lot of money in the last year just because of poor performance and some bad storytelling in the theaters. So they got a lot of work to do when they get back into the offices. And, speaking about that, just for a sec, T, going forward, I've seen a lot of people talking about, Iger and Disney saying that they're going to calm down with some of the political speech and getting involved with, hot button topics. But, he said that a year ago, and we'll see if maybe this time around, if there were some things maybe behind the scenes we don't know about. I'm interested to see what some of this language is going to be on the deal that they struck, because I'm curious to know, we have all these new stipulations that are in place that are kind of out of control right now, out of the control of the movie distributors and the production companies, because now the Academy is asking for certain things in order to be able, or the ability to be, up for Academy Awards and all kinds of things, right? You need to be able to click certain boxes with your movies. Let's see how Bob Iger reacts to all that when he comes back. He's saying that he's going to go in a new direction, and, being an AMC shareholder and seeing them lose almost $1 billion in the last year, just Disney alone, while other companies were able to go out with, not as much spending and able to rake in massive profits, right? We can point to a bunch of different movies that did that, that grossed over $1 billion. And instead of, Disney went in the opposite direction. They're one of the biggest movie producers out there. So we need them to come back with good storytelling and to head in another direction. It's going to be vital, I think, to keeping the theaters viable and keeping them in business. Disney is a big IP when it comes to the movies. I mean, you only got a couple big houses out there, right? Warner Brothers, Discovery, Paramount. There's only a few. Disney's one of the big ones. And, I gotta wonder who is pulling the strings behind Disney to keep them on this path. And it might just be Bob Iger, who has maybe some political aspirations. I don't know what their reasoning is, or they're trying to placate some of their workers who they've allowed infest their C-suite and their overall, the framework of their company. Really, there seems to be everywhere. There's a lot of activists over writers right now, and we need to get back to good storytelling. I think that's going to be important, and I hope there's some writing in here that says, we're going to be, I'm sure it won't be in the contract, but I hope there's some, wink, wink, nod, nods behind the scene. Like, hey, we need to get back to being profitable if you guys want this raise, right?
Part of the problem might also be, Mass, it's not just the writers, but who is greenlighting these projects. Imagine all of the good, well-written scripts that just aren't getting greenlit into movies because it doesn't fit the agenda.
Yeah.
I mean, we shit on the writers a lot because, we get a lot of bad movies, but the companies have to take some of the blame because they're deciding what to invest in.
Yeah. Yeah.
For all we know, they're just not greenlighting things that are a little more risky. But I don't know about you. I'm getting tired of just watching remakes and like Color Purple now. We're redoing Color Purple. We're redoing Snow White. Like,
and that's what
come up with something fucking original.
Is it true what I saw? They're doing that with a completely white cast, the Color Purple. They're changing everyone out.
No, I don't.
Oh, is that a joke?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I was
not
going to say,
according to
man,
not according to
okay.
the previews I saw.
Okay, I was going to say that would just be so wild. Like, wow. Well, I mean, we're going off the cliff here. All right, that's good. I'm glad that was a rumor. But yeah, making a more original content, right? Instead of rehashing old stories and swapping things out. And I don't know, T, who's pulling the strings on these. Who's really the big influence behind it? Is it Larry Fink and those guys? Is it BlackRock that's saying, hey, you need your ESG scores to get up here because we control a large portion of your stock right now, and I do believe there's some influence coming down from Vanguard and State Street and all these guys, right? I mean, they're trying to they want to play God a little bit.
That though, it's crushing their investment.
I think the globalists don't care at the end of the day. I don't think the globalists care. I think they have an agenda, and they don't care how it hurts the little guy. Clearly, I mean, they asked Larry Fink what he thought.
I think you were right on in the first part of what you said, that the corporate offices are infested with people that are pushing a woke agenda.
Yeah. Yeah, you can hear it in their background meetings. Like, that's definitely something that's going on. And that has to do with the DEI, right? They have to hire certain. You saw it in AMC's latest release, right? They had to make 33% of the board female. Now, I don't know if those two females are a better choice than two guys who might have 10 more or 20 more years combined experience between them and have run bigger companies. But just because you have to hit a quota now, I got to be worried about whether you hired the right person to fill that job. And I don't know if you did that because they're the best person for the position or because they check a box. And we can bring that all the way down to AMC right now, right? I mean, that is a little bit of a concern for me. If you are out there and you're not putting the best people in a position for you, especially a company who was on the brink of bankruptcy and $5 billion in debt, you should be looking for the absolute best people you can. That's why you need this money, right? So you can go out and hire the right people. Then do not put a person in that just checks a fucking box. Go out and get the right people. If we're going to give you the money, go get the right people.
Ed says, I have learned to invest in strong, profitable companies. Hard lesson. That at least you learn the lesson, Ed. And that is kind of the direction shift that I'm taking the channel. The reason I've been able to be so calm over the last couple of years is I never overinvested in AMC. And I've always urged you guys to have a portfolio that's diverse in profitable companies. But we got stuck talking about AMC because there's so much damn misinformation and people that don't want to look at the financials. But we can't keep doing that the rest of our investing careers, right? You need to be building a portfolio of profitable companies, and then the fun ones, the short squeezes, the pump and dumps, the day trading, the swing trading, you can allocate a portion of your portfolio. And hey, if you're a successful, profitable swing trader or day trader, and you want 100% of your portfolio to be in that, that's fine. But for those of you that are just kind of like, this is your third year investing, I want to encourage you to be looking at the income statements and the balance sheets and seeking out profitable companies for the bulk of your investment. It's going to be more boring. The returns are going to be lower, but the risk is exponentially lower. And when we get out of this funk that the economy is in, those companies are going to reward you, the profitable companies.
Yeah, remember, guys, they aren't going after these other profitable companies, these blue chip stocks. The shorts aren't going after them because they are so strong. They do have good numbers. So you're not going to see that kind of volatility or that downside chance that you'll see in a company like, AMC, even though it's a meme stock and everything's getting better with them. They still have $5 billion in debt. They have some issues, right? And these other companies don't have that. They are turning a profit quarter after quarter, year after year. And you're not going to have that kind of downside loss ability to lose that much.
Can we pivot off of that into the entertainment industry
Sure.
for 1 second? Because someone posted a question on Twitter and asked, why isn't Cinemark being obliterated like AMC? And guys, I just want to point out kind of the obvious. Like, you can take a conspiratorial look at it, or you can take a rational look at it. Like, why is Cinemark and IMAX institutionally owned? And why is AMC retail owned? Because Cinemark and IMAX have healthier balance sheets and they are generating profits. And AMC is the opposite of that. So the institutions are going to get out of AMC. Yes, there's some in it, but you're not going to see wide adoption of AMC by institutions until the company's balance sheet is fixed and the box office is big enough for the company to be generating consistent profits. When that happens, if you're patient enough for that to happen, and if you're lucky enough to buy at the bottom while you're waiting for that to happen, AMC eventually will be adopted by institutions and the price will drive up. But there is a reason why AMC is retail owned. Institutions don't want to invest their money in an obvious distressed company. And I know that's unpleasant to hear, but it's not something that's news to you if you've been watching this channel. The balance sheet is a mess for AMC. And they're so big that they need the box office to be over 11 billion to consistently crank out profitable quarter after profitable quarter. And we're not there yet.
Yeah. And we're getting there, right? AMC is trying to make the correct steps in order to, what they're doing. They're shutting down unprofitable locations. They are buying out smaller theaters who are newer and more updated and replacing old screens and seats, right? They're doing the things that you want to see a company doing, that is trying to improve their bottom line. And I got to give, AMC the credit for that. They're doing some of the things that we have suggested to them as retail investors, right? We've talked to them about the concerts and the sports and the popcorn at the stores, and boom, 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 right? We've gotten those recently. So for me to sit here and for me to bitch, and knowing that, I bought this stock early in 2021 before the run up, I watched it go all the way up. I watched it come all the way down. I made all those decisions as I went along based off the information that I had, and not all of them were good decisions. So now looking forward, it is, all right, well, when are we going to get back to knowing that we're comfortable and knowing that, we got some of this debt paid off. We have tons of money in the war chest. Me and Tony were talking earlier, and I said, T, watching the movie today, and I had some thoughts because AA had put out that call to the community saying, hey, if you guys have a project that you think might be interesting to AMC, as far as, maybe them picking up some production credits or whatever it is, maybe they want to fund their own project. They want to take, 50 million of that money that they just raised. And if they can go out there and ink a deal with a good director and a producer, maybe someone who's been sidelined in the last couple of months and is tired of working in the studios where they're under all these constrictions, right? You got Marvel and Star Wars and all these other IPs out there that they're playing games with, right? They're turning them into some type of social activist propaganda PR stunt. Then now's the time where you could maybe pounce and find someone out there. I mean, look how long Sounds of Freedom sat on the shelf, right? Disney had for 5 years, they had that script sitting there, a $14 million script that 10x'd itself in the first couple weeks in the theaters. If we can find some projects like that, I'm all about that, right? I got to get on board with those ideas. And, watching the movie today, I said to myself, this is something that maybe, Adam Aaron could have looked at and said, well, let's talk to Mesrick and see how we can get this book made. Maybe AMC can give you some money and we can set up a way so that we can fund it for you to do this project. They should be looking for these type of projects, especially right now. There's a lot of talent out there. Me and Tony was saying this, a lot of talented people out there who have been able to find out how to do things, without any schooling, right? You got editors out there and people who are working on computers with graphic design, all kinds of things. And those people are looking for jobs right now. And a lot of them might have been out of work for the last 4 months. Maybe they don't want to go back to the studios and be under that, that constant pressure to have to put all this stuff into their movies, inject it with all these things, these ideas, and having to have these restrictions as far as, I have to have 33% disabled in my, my cast, and 2 of my supporting actors have to be female. That's not going to make the best movies. So I think Adam Aaron and AMC should truly look at some of these small projects that might be out there sitting on a shelf somewhere that they can maybe put $10 or $15 million into, double that up for. I mean, there's a lot of word of mouth in this community. Look how well Sounds of Freedom did just by being on Twitter and YouTube. And they spent barely anything on promoting that film, when in comparison to what Disney, spent on just Indiana Jones, $160 million to promote that film. So I just want to see them keeping it going in that direction. As long as they continue to do that, I can hang in with the stock, right? I can stick in and wait for the things to develop and get better. But I need to be able to see progress coming and things changing in the proper direction. As long as it's headed that way, the writer's strike is another part of that puts my mind at ease a little bit. But we got a little work to do,
Let me address 24 the Money's statement. He said Tony's wrong. Institutions own 154 million shares of AMC, and we know there's 198 million shares out there with the 40 million. So let me just address this question or statement, and thank you for asking 24 the Money, because I know the clickbaiters, the non-DD YouTubers are putting out these videos telling you, and people on Twitter too, telling you institutions own 154 million shares. It says it on Fintel. Guys, thank you for coming to watch us, because this is where we actually educate you on why the clickbaiters are always so wrong, because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Give me a second. Fintel reports 13F filings filed by institutions that own shares, right? And those 13F filings from the previous quarter had what kind of share count in them? Pre-reverse split. So when you're seeing Fintel report institutional ownership of 154 million, it's all just an automated spreadsheet. It's counting up all the shares from previous 13Fs that were reported by hundreds and hundreds of institutions, and it added up in the last quarter to 154 million shares. Pre-reverse split. They don't go in and adjust the numbers. When the next quarter filings come out, you're going to see that number change down 90%. Hear me now, believe me later. But thank you for that, because I did comment on it on Twitter when someone posted it, but I'm just so over the point of dealing with these doofuses on YouTube who can't be bothered to learn how things work. They just vomit out 10 videos a day. I'm over trying to help people and correct all this nonsense. If you want to believe them, keep on watching them. But if you want real information, keep coming back here.
You know, the sad thing is too, they're getting a lot of views on those channels.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
and people
amazing.
fucking believe it.
I know.
Like
know.
90% of what they put out is bullshit.
Yeah.
90 fucking percent, because they have no idea what they're talking about.
CB in the chat says, hello, guys. I met Adam Aaron in DFW airport a few weeks ago. Nice guy, says CB. Yeah, look, I got no problems with Adam Aaron as long as he continues to do what is going to make this company more profitable. As long as I'm hearing in the earnings calls that they are doing everything we just talked about, and I continue to see at least working towards profitable quarters. And now that the strike is over, hopefully we'll be on a nice schedule and not have to worry about anything for the next 3 years, you know? But also be prepared, because there probably will be a stretch that we'll see at some time. I don't know in what quarter it will be, maybe sometime late in 2024, that you're going to feel the effects of this 4 months that went off with the writers. And depending on when the actors sign, you're going to see a lag with, as far as movies coming out. Now, hopefully they can catch up on some of that. But, they seem like they were in a haze still coming out of the pandemic, getting back to work immediately. So I'm not going to put too much faith in that. And whether you still want to be in this play by that time is completely up to you guys, right? But no,
I'm going to talk about that some more after we get Q3 finished. And by the way, we're at 2.56 billion for this quarter. And the number that I really want to see, how many days? We got 6 days left in this month. 6 days. I want to see 2.7 billion. That's 150 million we got to make in 6 days. That is going to be really, really tough, almost damn near impossible. But we do have some good movies coming out at the end of this month. I'm going to encourage you guys to go see a movie or two. I got 2 movies booked at the last weekend of this month. The Creator and what's the other one that's coming out at the end of this month? But anyways, anything we can do to get us up to that 2.7 billion is helpful. I'm going to pull up my AMC.
Absolutely. Have you heard the weekend numbers yet from this weekend?
Well, I'm looking right now for the quarter, including today's numbers. We're at 2.56 billion. What do I have booked? I have, Saw 10.
Okay. Yep.
So those are both out this coming weekend. So go see some movies. I mean, that is literally the best thing you can do to help this company. Even more important than buying and holding stock is contributing to the revenue of the company, because that is what makes things happen at the end of the day. On the quarterly. So I'll do my forecast for Q3 based on whatever numbers. I'm going to do a range this time, a range of if AMC gets 28% of the box office up to 30%, because we were tracking at 30% for 2 quarters, Q4 and Q1, and then we dropped to 28% in Q2, which messed up my forecast. So for Q3, I'm going to give you a range, but to be safe, we really need 2.7 billion in my view. And if we don't, I'm going to be concerned about us not having a profitable quarter in Q3. So we'll see. We got 6 days. Go do your part. I'm doing my part. We've seen a fuck ton of movies in the past 2 weeks, and I got 2 more.
Yeah, you've been on a tear, bro. You've been on a tear.
And then Q4, I will talk about my expectations for Q4, but I need to do a little more due diligence on what I think Taylor Swift is going to contribute. I'm going to be honest. I'm a little worried about the movie slate for Q4. So let me know your thoughts. Have you looked at the calendar for Q4, and other than Taylor Swift, Are you seeing $2 billion worth of movies there? And if you're not, maybe there should be some concern, as I've been saying for 6 months, that we were likely to lose money in Q3 and Q4. And that means cash burn. That means the company needs to raise cash, which is why they raise cash. And I think that they will need to do some additional cash raise also if Q4 is negative. But thank God we got the writer's strike out of the way, and pray to God that the actor's strike is close to follow with that. But that, I'm just tagging on what you said, Mass. Like, there's going to be some repercussions in some upcoming quarters about the impact of the actors and writers strike.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna feel that at some point. I just hope they can, make up for it in a good way. Hopefully, there's some good stories coming. I know there are some plans for some good movies in the future, and we got a couple releases in Q4 that might do all right. But just looking back to 2022, right? We had Black Panther: Wakanda Forever in that quarter. We also had the release of Avatar, and we barely cracked 1.7 billion with two.
I know Q4 last
massive
year
movies.
fucking sucked, man.
Yeah. We were down 14%, right? So, just keep that in mind, right? MC, thank you for the super chat, brother.
Thank you, MC. Thank you. How much did we lose that quarter? I've got the spreadsheet here. We lost 235 million. Wait,
yeah.
No, sorry, that was Q1.
235.
Q4 we lost $287 million on. Let me take out depreciation. Hang on one second. Basically 135 million if you don't count for depreciation, but on the income statement it was negative 235 million.
Yeah.
We need the numbers consistently over 2.7 billion for AMC to
quarters.
have a shot at posting positive earnings per share.
Yeah. Let me say though, I did see the trailer for Killers of the Flower Moon. Looks like an excellent movie. There's a lot of Oscar chat about it right now, about Scorsese's directing and saying it's Leo DiCaprio's best film. But is it something I think is gonna blow the socks or the roof off Q4? No.
It'll be good for a few hundred million.
It'll be good. Yeah. But do I think it's gonna be 5 to 750? No, probably not. Aquaman 2, are we going to get a repeat of $1 billion like we saw with the first one? I don't. What's that? What else? They pushed Dune back to Q1. The second.
Steven said with the resolution of the strikes, maybe some of those movies could be pulled into Q4. I would love to see that. I mean, we need it. We need movies pulled back into Q4.
Yeah. That'd be nice. Yeah.
That would change my outlook on things 100%.
The only issue is a lot of people right now are nervous. Well, what I'm seeing is a lot of people are nervous because of all the Oscar buzz about Oppenheimer and having to go up in this award season, the one that's coming up in February or March, spring, whenever they do it in 2024, saying they have to go up against Oppenheimer, which I think is going to run the table on everything. So I heard a lot of rumors that that's why they pushed Dune 2 into Q1 of 2024. They didn't want to compete with Oppenheimer as far as, the cinematography, the score, a lot of the behind the scenes things, right? A lot of the production design, that stuff.
It's interesting to think about the dynamics of what is, but Q4 seasonally would be a better time for revenue for Dune than
with
Q1.
The holidays.
So,
yeah.
What are the things driving these decisions?
Yeah,
right?
You wonder, right?
I don't know that I have all the answers for that, but
me neither.
God, man, I hope they don't fuck us over because of a damn Oscar award. Put it in Q4.
I know.
Get the holiday traffic.
Yeah. You got to imagine that it's going to do. I mean, Dune 1 came out when we were still in the pandemic, and it did pretty well in the theaters. This is supposed to be the second. This is the part 2 of. They broke basically one movie into 2 parts, right? Dune 1 part 2 is the opening of the movie. And what I've heard is like this is the big battle. I guess this is supposed to be the mid battle of the 3-part series or 4-part series, I guess. But yeah, it would be nice if they push some things back into Q4, and then you add on whatever we're going to get from the Taylor Swift concert, which won't be significant, but it will definitely add to our bottom line. That's what's most important, right? The more money we got coming in.
I've been putting off my analysis on Taylor Swift because I'm hoping that AMC Adam Aaron will give us an update before I need to waste a day trying to make a guess. But I can tell you that there's a wide range of numbers out there, from conservative to over the top exuberant, and the actual number will probably come in somewhere in between. As I'm watching Twitter and these estimates people are coming up with, the ones who are giving the wild estimates, they've rarely been right on anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I pretty much discount those. It's going to be somewhere in the middle. But I'm hoping Adam Aaron gives us an update. And what I will tell you is I've been keeping a close eye on the weekends that it's showing here. And it's mostly sold out on a tremendous amount of showings all the way into November every weekend in
That's
Austin.
great.
Other than Halloween weekend, there's a little drop off on Sunday, but a massive amount of screens being dedicated to Taylor Swift, and almost every showing says almost full from mid-morning
Good.
to evening. And we have 3 theaters with multiple screens in each theater, and almost all of them almost full. I think it's going to be really,
that's
really
what you want to see, right?
Yeah, I mean, I never see that on any movie except Oppenheimer. That was the only. I had to wait many weeks to go see Oppenheimer in IMAX because it was always damn full. So I'm not going to underestimate Taylor Swift like I did Barbie. I will try and crunch the numbers, but I'm hoping before I got to spend my time doing that AMC will drop us another nugget. I think they don't want to blow that nugget.
Same with Super Mario. I wasn't expecting Super Mario to do
1.3
billion.
That
right?
caught everyone by surprise.
Another surprise.
I'm hoping Adam Aaron is going to stack up some good news, like, the actors and writers strike is both resolved, and we're about to make XXX on pre-sales on Taylor Swift. And I tell you what, I will look at if he doesn't drop us a nugget when. Taylor Swift starts in October, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say when we get the Q3 numbers, we'll know, but we'll already know by then. There's a way I can guess what the Taylor Swift pre-sales were when I see the financials due to the revenue that they didn't realize yet, but we'll already know by then. We'll be well into Taylor Swift because we won't get the Q3 numbers till November. Yeah.
CB says Taylor Swift makes more money than AMC. You're right. She does.
Yeah, but I mean,
she's more profitable right now.
Butts in seats. It's revenue. I mean, it's close to 50%. It's similar to what they're making anyways. Every theater selling out, and concessions. Like I fucking hope these managers are stocking up on pizza.
Seriously. Hot food.
I don't want to hear any excuses about the ovens aren't working. Go fucking down. Now's your chance to get those ovens fixed. Make sure the air conditioning's working and get some fucking pizza in the freezer. I hope they're planning for it. I hope they're planning for it.
Me too. Hey, maybe we'll get a surprise that they've deal with Ernest and Julio, and they're going to have boxed wine at the theaters for the Taylor Swift concert. Who knows? For moms. Yeah, exactly.
I heard some crazy shit talking about beer and wine that people think. I heard one YouTuber saying Adam Aaron's going to start up a brewery. No, he's not fucking starting a brewery, you dumbass. They're gonna relabel some private label shit.
Yeah.
You know, that just like they're doing with the popcorn. You have someone else manufacture it, you put AMC's label on it. It's like going to Costco and buying their brand of something. You generate more revenue per unit sold by taking private label and putting your logo on it. And whether it's beer or wine, that's what they're going to do. They're not starting a damn brewery. Come on, man. Use your common sense.
Right.
And then I heard other people saying, maybe, you know, who knows, we'll see AMC branded wine in first class on American Airlines. No, you're not going to see that either. Let's be real about what he's doing. He's looking for incremental revenue in the theater. He's not trying to go with worldwide with Chateau Simeon. You're not going to see it at your favorite restaurant.
They've already got the infrastructure set up there to deliver to their theaters, all the things that they need. All they got to do is add an item. You've already got that network set. You're not going to start going into restaurants, Chris Steakhouse with Chateau Saint Simeon. Yeah, definitely not. Did you see?
I love the enthusiasm, but let's keep it in the realm of reality.
Yeah, a vineyard and brewery are just completely off the table.
Can you imagine, Mass? We could have the squeeze celebration at Chateau Simeon Vineyard in Napa Valley.
Napa Valley.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get that on the calendar.
Why not just have it in France? Let's go right to Bordeaux, to the source, right? Why have it in Napa?
Maybe Chateau Simeon will be the preferred drink of Eight Fathers Casino in Macau.
There we go. Yeah, he's got an investment in that in the casinos over there, right? Love to get some Chateau Simeon there. Yeah, T, I was just going back to the Q4 and Taylor Swift, the movies that are coming out. We're getting kind of with one of the big Marvel releases. I saw this article last week. Marvel's most expensive Marvel project of Phase 5. So they're saying that Disney so far has spent about $270 million on making the Marvels, according to a Forbes statement. They got some tax subsidy when they were filming over in the UK, but that's going to have to make back now almost $500 million in order to be profitable. I mean, again, I don't know if this MCU thing was the best choice for Kevin Feige and Marvel, but hopefully this is getting to the end of it, right? We're getting to the end of this phase. And, I'll keep my expectations for next phase fairly stable, I hope, and not get too overexcited that there'll be some changes made in these boardrooms going forward. Just
I'm
because based off...
I'm going to be mean and say, I don't care if the studio loses money. Maybe that will be a painful lesson to them, but AMC is still going to make their revenue share, even if the studio loses money. So
that's how I feel. We're just losing more. We're just losing out on more profits we could have had, right? That's all it is.
Yeah, because they keep on putting out shit.
Right. Yeah.
I saw the preview for the Marvels. It looks like an all-female cast, right?
It is, yeah.
What is your target audience for those type of movies? Are they trying to rope in women to come watch, or are they alienating the men? Like, how many men that are watching these two channels right now definitely are going to go see
Marvels?
Or how many of you don't care?
Put a one in the
because
chat.
It's an all-female cast. If you're going to go see it, regardless, because it's a Marvels, put a 1 in the chat. If you're not going to go see it because it's an all-female
because it's the
cast
Marvels
and you don't really care, put a 2. Or because it's the Marvels. I'd have not seen any Aquaman movie, and I've not seen any Wonder Woman movie.
No, not yet. Neither?
Never. No. Mostly because of the agendas of those movies.
Yeah. No, I get it, right? And again, I don't mind hurting Disney because I want them to smarten up, right? If I do have kids someday, I want to be able to be rest assured that I can throw them in front of the TV set and throw on a Disney thing, and I'm not going to have to worry about what's in it. But from what I've seen inside these boardrooms and these meetings we're seeing clips from on YouTube and Twitter and some of these earnings calls, I don't like what I'm hearing, and I haven't liked it for a long time. I've kind of bit the bullet because I've been in AMC, right? But if I'm being completely honest, they're on for me, everything, all their major IPs right now are on the back nine, if you want to call it that way, until they make some changes as far as who is in charge and run the show over there.
If I go see the Marvels, it's going to be only to support AMC.
That's it. That's it. It won't be to support Marvel or Disney, and as far as I'm concerned, right? This is a movie that no one asked for. Nobody asked for this movie. No one asked for the last Captain Marvel movie, but the way Marvel and Disney marketed it was in between Infinity War and Endgame, you had to see Captain Marvel in order to know what's going on, right? So they were smart. They did that. They put an unlikable actress into an unlikable or a little known character, not one of their main Avengers, and they got lucky and pulled in $1 billion with it. We are not going to see that this time around with this movie. I just think people need to be aware that Marvel is on its back nine until they make some changes. Now, DC just made a big change, right? They hired Mangold on, I believe, to be like their new director for the whole DC universe. And I thought they did a good job with the last Batman, but, Black Adam I could have done without. Shazam 2. Again, just, the Batman, that franchise, you could make a Batman movie maybe every year. And I thought Robin Pattinson was awesome in Batman, right? I could go see a Batman movie every other year if he's in there playing Batman. I thought that was really well done. And then, we get 4 in a row that are just absolute trash. I mean, it used to be, that wasn't how it used to be. It used to be, you could rest assured that these superhero movies are going to do excellent. And nowadays, you can't count on that anymore. It's not 2019 or 18 or 17 even.
Max wants to know what's AMC going to open at on Monday based on the writer's strike news.
Be interesting to see what happens in pre-market tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to be up early.
And Finger.
I'm going to be up early, not for AMC, but I will be watching it. So if y'all are in the Discord, I'll be in, wise guys. Speaking of which, I don't want to be live streaming until 2 a.m. my time tonight because I want to wake up around 4 a.m.
You want to cut it at the 2:30 mark? That sounds about good for me. That'll give me time to eat because I really haven't had time to do anything when I got home from the movie.
I'm thinking like midnight my time for me, to sign off is like 20 minutes from now.
Sounds good. We can do that.
Or we could go till midnight 1500 hours. So it'll be around 3 hours.
Okay. It's about 25 more minutes.
Yeah, like 30 minutes. As long as people still have questions. Dambrick says, based on the writer's strike being resolved, AMC will probably go down in the morning.
Seriously. Yeah, probably. If we get any good news, obviously we got the good news, right? But if something else pops off between now and then, yeah, look for some downside action in the morning based off the news that the fucking strike's over.
The problem is the market has been in a downturn cycle for the past few days. So that is more what I'm looking at. Not, it'd be nice if there's some industry specific news that can make the theater stocks go up, but we're being dragged by the overall market. So I'm hoping that we get some change on that.
And that happened to you without even getting an interest rate raise. Imagine.
I know.
Well,
they're thinking ahead, right? They're thinking future raises. Future raises are coming, and it's the pain is not going to stop anytime soon of high interest rates. So market didn't like that.
I don't think they're going to sacrifice the market to curb inflation right now. I think they would rather keep the market as inflated as they possibly can to make it look good to the rest of the world. And who cares? Americans are hurting with inflation, right? Let's just make sure that the markets stay up and that we have foreign investors to keep pouring money into. That's the way I'm looking at it right now. Is they're going to sacrifice the middle class and the lower class in order to continue to raise rates and hope that the market stays overly inflated right now and still looks good to investors, so they keep pouring their money in. I think we're going to be the sitting ducks.
I saw that I see a lot of people in the chat commenting about Taylor Swift was at the Kansas City football game. Does her family live there in Kansas City? I
They
have no
must,
idea
right?
where she lives. She's supposedly dating one of the football players, correct?
Travis Kelce. Yeah.
Yeah, but does her family have ties to Kansas City? Like, how did Adam Aaron know her parents?
I thought she was from Tennessee. Hold on. She is from Pennsylvania, West Reading.
I wonder how that whole like Adam Aaron, Taylor Swift thing started. Like,
so she moved from Pennsylvania to Henderson, Tennessee when she was 13. Let me see where she lives now, if I can see this.
maybe her dad is in the investment world, right? Maybe he just had the idea, how can we help make Taylor some money, and went to AMC.
Yeah, he used to be a stockbroker for Merrill Lynch, her father.
Yeah.
Scott. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know how they got hooked up.
Oh, yeah. 24 the money. Thank you. He said, I do remember seeing that headline. I didn't read the article. Joe Kernan said he put them in contact with each other.
Oh, is that right? Joe,
I
okay,
did see that. I did see that a week or two ago.
Oh, CB says she lives in Franklin, Tennessee. Okay, I've been there, CB. I know where that is. Franklin, I believe that county tried to separate from the rest of Tennessee. I think they almost went to war with Tennessee. I'm pretty sure it was Franklin. Because I know when I was there, they had Bank of Franklin, and I was asking someone about it, why it was why they were calling it a state bank, or there's something about it that made Franklin independent from the rest of Tennessee. And someone said, oh, they almost went to war with the state back a while back. I don't remember what the reason was, but yeah, it was kind of interesting.
Steven says they reached out to Adam Aaron after Hollywood declined the movie. Wow. Why would you decline? I need to go read some more up on that. I really have been so focused on other things. I've been putting the whole Taylor Swift thing on the back burner until I'm so focused on getting through Q3 that I haven't read all those articles. But why would Hollywood turn down that damn movie? Fucking idiots, man.
I don't know. Seeing how well Elvis did and picking up all those Academy Awards on a guy who died 40 years ago, you would think a current pop star doing her story would be kind of good, right? I don't know.
I just hope that, that it is wildly successful, and that leads some other artists to approach AMC about doing, similar type concert movies. I'd love to see more of that, more utilization of the screens for concerts, more UFC fights,
sports.
There's so much,
like Mike just said,
other things that AMC could do.
MC just said, football. Like, where is I gotta say, when I was out in school in California, we would have to wake up at 10 in the morning and catch the games back in New England, and we'd have to go all the way into town. You'd have to get to a bar by 10 a.m., which didn't start selling booze yet. Open your theater up to have some Sunday NFL games or Saturday college football games, and have the alumni meet there. Have the local Facebook groups meet at an AMC theater to do their drinking and watching the game, right? You got the comfortable seats. You got a dark theater with huge screens. I mean, you got a bar right there. You got everything you need to have a party, and you don't actually have to go and pay through the nose to go. They used to charge $25 just to get into the door. This place I went into in Pacific Beach, it was called Lahaina Beach Club. We'd go there every Saturday morning to watch the games. They charge you $25 just to get the ticket, right? Just to have the ticket to get in the door to watch your games. So, and there used to be every weekend, there'd be Alabama alumni group that would meet there on Saturdays, and then Oregon would come in. I mean, that could be like perpetual dollar bills coming in if you could get the rights to broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, if a bar can get the rights to,
why can't a theater?
Why can't a movie theater? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's the one thing that they haven't really done as much as I thought. Besides the UFC portion of it that they kind of looked into a little bit last year, and they had a couple fights. I haven't really seen them expand with that. I don't know if that's an issue with college football or the NFL or NHL as far as the licensing goes. I have no idea how that works, but there's got to be a way to do it.
There's still some UFC fights. I keep on missing them, but one of these days, if I can catch one and it works for
Go
my
see it.
schedule, I'm going to go see one at AMC. Like every time that I notice it, it's already too late.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to go see what the experience is like.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that'd
watching
be
a
nice.
UFC at AMC.
Yeah, especially a good fight, right? Or even a boxing match, like to go see like Tyson Fury fight. There's some big ones coming, right? I wouldn't mind going to see a boxing match there. Unfortunately, yeah.
It's really irritating. You know, we sometimes go to the sports bars to watch them, and it's so damn crowded, and you can't get a drink.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, the atmosphere is fun, but it's
Right.
more irritating to me than.
It-
And
it's
then
l-
if you want a chair,
Yeah, forget
you
it.
know, it's even more expensive.
It's loud.
Do you want a chair for $50 or you want standing room only for 25?
You
Fuck
want to
off.
do you want to sit in a lounge chair that reclines 90% with a cup holder right next to you, right?
Yeah, for $18,
seriously.
I'll take the lounge chair in a theater.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Yeah, I wonder, there's got to be some reason that AMC hasn't dug deeper into that. Either they don't think they can make it profitable, maybe the overhead is too much, but I would think if you were to put feelers out there and say, hey, we're looking for alumni in Facebook groups, we're wondering how many people we could get, would you guys be willing to rent out a theater for X amount of dollars? I mean, that's what they have marketing and R&D for, right? They should be doing that. Put some feelers out and see what people are saying. You know, there's probably a lot of these alumni groups, and I'm trying to think of the other word. The people who, you know, move out of the state and go somewhere else, but they meet up for the college football games or the NFL games. You know, I think that's something we should definitely be exploring. That's not a particularly busy time at the theaters. The mornings
and
on
maybe
Sundays
they
and
are. I
Saturdays.
mean, maybe they are exploring it and they don't want to tip their hands.
Could be.
It would be nice if they would like give us some breadcrumbs. Let us know
Yeah.
you're looking into stuff.
Yeah, it would
I
be
think
nice.
that's this big desire from the investor community is they want to know what else are you doing to generate revenue. Okay, popcorn, private
Concert.
labeled candy, wine, whatever, but we need butts and seats.
To purchase those things.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Bottom line is you need the
you
asses
got
and seats.
10,000 fucking screens.
Yeah.
What are you doing to get butts and seats? I don't want to hear that you're going to have to keep diluting till 2025 just to survive till then. Come up with some other butt and seat ideas like Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Yep. It's Mark, like, subscribe, share. Bellon says, what do you guys think of the federal government problem? I'm assuming that you mean the shutdown. Are you worried about the shutdown at all, Tony? With the Freedom Caucus?
It's barely on my radar at this moment. I mean, shutdowns are inconvenient, but I'm not overly concerned about it.
I think that now that funding Ukraine is off the table and that the Pentagon weighed in on that and said no matter what happens with the government shutdown, Ukraine will continue to be funded. I think that takes kind of some of the wind out of the sails of the Freedom Caucus, you know? That was their whole reason that they were going to try to shut it down, right? They said not until we secure the southern border do we send another penny to Ukraine. But if the Pentagon is now saying that, well, Congress can't do that in a shutdown, that the government needs to continue to fund in Ukraine, I don't see the point of them holding a knife to Kevin McCarthy's throat anymore, right? So I could be wrong. Crazier things have happened.
I heard you talking about the border. I would love to talk about that, but let's not derail this conversation on that.
Yeah, we don't even have time for that today. We're getting off in 15 minutes. I got way more. Did you happen to see the video I did earlier today, Tony, about Colony Ridge?
I've watched your other videos, but I haven't seen that one yet.
When if you get a chance, check it out.
I'll check it out tonight when we're done here.
About 6 minutes in, or 5 minutes in, I go into Colony Ridge. That is a development that was bought by some rich guy in Texas who's a big donor to Greg Abbott's gubernatorial campaigns since like 2016, and he has 60 to 75,000 plots of land in, you know where Lincoln County is, Tony? Liberty County, Texas. Liberty County.
No, we have hundreds of counties here.
Okay, it's on the southeastern tip of Texas. Like, I just go up in the triangle there. It's up in that area, but he's got 60 to 75,000 plots of land that he is selling to illegal immigrants with no paperwork. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, again, and this is a guy who is heavily donating to a Republican governor in Texas who is supposed to be all about shutting down the border. And, you know, I guess he's done a significantly okay job. I don't know how you guys describe it down there, but seems like everything he does is a dollar short and a day late. But yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean,
before
people
we
are
get
buying
too deep
property.
in that tangent, because we'll end
I'm
up
outta here.
spending 20 more minutes and then we'll get our stream demonetized.
Yeah.
Andrew says
Yeah, I don't know.
they need to do more $5 movies once a month on Saturdays. What do you guys think if they were to do a $5 movie day? Would you want it on a weekend, or would you want it on a weekday to drive traffic on a more off day? They already
I would
have
say during the
30%
week, right?
off. They have 30% off for the early screenings. Would you support like a $5 Wednesday every day of the week, every Wednesday of the month?
Wednesday. Yeah, four days out of the month. That wouldn't be
weekends.
bad, right?
Yeah, you bring in more kids. I'm
Andrew.
guessing on the $5 movie days, they probably give up the profit on the movie portion of the revenue, but they make it up on concessions. So I'm sure there's some accounting that they got to do to decide, you know, what's the optimal mix, because they still got to pay the theater. I mean, they got to pay the production company their take, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yep, that's coming out. Yep. Vern Dog says, don't they already do that on Tuesdays? When I was in college, I'd go on Tuesdays for cheaper movies. They might be doing that, Vern Dog. It might be something that's localized too, right? Could be, maybe that's something in some of the, I don't know, suburban theaters. Maybe that's going on where the attendance is a little lower, where in the inner city, you get the draw every night of the week and they don't have to worry about bringing down prices. Are you seeing it on a national level though, Tony? Do you like a campaign? Yeah.
My wife and I, when we were going to see Dumb Money, we were talking about the dollar movie. Do any of y'all have dollar movie theaters in your area?
Used to.
She said, did you ever used to go to the dollar movies? I was like, yeah, I remember two. We had one in South Austin and one in Round Rock that I think is still there. And she's like, I wonder if we ever cross paths in the dollar theater.
Back in the day?
I was like, well, you would have been about 5 years old, you know?
Yeah, right.
If we did. So you probably wouldn't have recognized me, because that was a long time ago.
Probably weren't seeing the same movies at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally different taste.
The inside joke is she's younger than me.
Right.
So,
yeah, we get it.
but she's like, I really can't imagine you going to a dollar movie. I was like, well, babe, you know, back in my college days, money was tight. And of course I went to the dollar movie.
Yeah.
And even when my kids were really, really young, and in the early part of my career, there were still days where I felt the budget pinch. Like, okay, my boys want to go see a movie. Let's go to the dollar movie, because it's still going to be $12 popcorn, but at least we can get the movie for $1. So thank goodness I don't need to worry about that now. But there were certainly days where I used to go to the dollar movie.
Yeah.
And I can certainly sympathize with people that are on a budget. I mean, just me and my wife, we drop $60-$80 or more going to a movie right now.
Yeah. It's
between
crazy.
The movie tickets, A-list, a couple beers, her pretzel bites, popcorn. Then she wants a shake. You know, it adds up.
Adds up. Yeah. And we're doing better than ever in that category, right? They said the concessions are up, what, 14% year over year. So, and they've raised the prices on those, which has helped our bottom line a little bit. So, I'm
Well,
okay with some of those
we're
things.
doing our part. I can
Yeah.
guarantee you that.
Yeah, no, you guys are on a tear. You guys have been on a crazy tear. I've been seeing every time you got a community post like boom, boom, hitting this movie, boom, boom. I'm like, man, I wish I could go as many movies as Tony does, man. He's just a killer when it comes to getting to the screen to see everything. Lordy's in Germany. Irish Bear I saw earlier coming in from Ireland. How you doing, Irish Bear? And Lordy says the German market opens in about an hour. Good to see you, man. Glad you're still hanging with us.
Mass, I used to even sneak my snacks in. Like I'd go buy a package of Milk Duds or hot tamales.
Not anymore.
I don't do that anymore. I don't
No,
even
I know.
don't even really eat candy anymore. But even if I did, I'd still pay the $9 for a 2-ounce box of fucking chocolate. But yeah,
Ever since I became a shareholder of AMC, I have paid for everything, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I get whatever I can just to help.
It chaps my hide at the prices, but I mean,
yeah, I know. Considering
it.
everything we've done for AMC, all the battles we've went to war with people over. Yeah, I know. You would hope they would at least throw us a free popcorn here or there, but that's okay. It is what it is.
They do throw us a free popcorn. Didn't you get yours? You got a free popcorn after the reverse split.
I got my one popcorn. Yeah, I got my one popcorn. I took a 90% beating in my portfolio.
It's your free popcorn with no lube.
Right. I'll shove this up your ass. It'll be safer for you than holding. Oh, God. By the way, just to mention, Dumb Money today. Did you see what the box office was that I'm curious.
I have it open here. Let me pull it up.
What do we got for numbers so far? Because it hasn't even officially opened yet, right?
No, 29th. So it's saying for this weekend, 2.5 million was the gross for Dumb Money. So, I mean, that's nothing, right?
Nope.
The Nun 2 was the highest grossing movie of this weekend, 8.4 million. And Expendables 4 was 8.3 million.
Yeah, that flopped, unfortunately, huh? I guess people are done with Stallone
and
Van Damme.
Coincidentally, we watched Expendables 1 last night on pay-per-view. And I don't know that I remember the movies. There's like 3 of them before this, right? But I don't think I ever saw Expendables 1. And as I was watching it last night, I was like, this is the original. It's like a forgettable action movie with a potentially great cast that is really just wasted. And so I looked up the reviews of Expendables 4, and it has a Rotten Tomatoes critics rating of 17%, which is like horrible. And I think the audience score was about 72%. So if you're a fan of the franchise, I guess, it delivers exactly what you'd expect. A bunch of explosions and famous faces and maybe a witty line or two. I might add that to my, my list of what to go sneak in this week, but I need to watch number 2 and 3 on pay-per-view. We didn't pay for it. I think it's just it was on Tubi, Tubi. It's like a free app with commercials.
Yeah.
So
I'm aware of it.
I don't remember seeing number 1. I know it's been a long time, but I have a pretty good memory for movies. And as I was watching it, I was like, I don't think I've ever actually seen this movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. It's Mark. Have a good night. And Super Steven says seeing Creator is going to be the one to watch. You're going to see that too, right? This weekend?
Yeah, I already have my tickets booked for the Creator for this coming weekend. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does actually look good. I've seen the preview, looks pretty good. And like I said, the Flowers of the Moon looks really good. And I'll probably go see Napoleon just because I'm a huge war buff. I love especially Napoleonic War. That's like my favorite time period in history. I just love the uniforms. The way the guys dressed up to go shoot and kill each other is just phenomenal, right? The outfits they wore. I mean, it's fucking
And
badass
they
what they
just
wore
line
during the
up.
Napoleonic
They
Wars.
just line up and
Yeah.
blast away, right? It was very
Yeah, line up-
civilized.
Yeah, it was very civilized. You'd have a cavalry charge come in. I mean, they'd line up and they'd form a square. I mean, I can't wait to see like some of that battle stuff from
What movie is
Waterloo.
that?
Napoleon with Joaquin
Oh
Phoenix.
yeah. Does that have what's the main actor's name that's in that one?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, Joaquin. I like him.
Yeah.
And I saw the previews for that, and the same thing. I was like, I cannot wait to see this movie.
I'm excited to see it on the big screen, definitely.
I love all sort of battle movies like that, and a lot of the Mel Gibson type movies along the same
Me too.
genre. Or what's that other dude? Russell Crowe. He's done a few.
Gladiator. Yep. Yeah. Some of those epics, man. I remember I was in film school back then, and they really put everything on the line with some of those movies. They put a lot of money into, especially that 1 year, into Ridley Scott's Gladiator and The Patriot. The studios were banking on those two. They put almost everything they had.
If those come on TV, I will stop what I'm doing and watch those movies. That's how much I will rewatch them over and over. And I own some of them on DVD.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. The studios were heavily banking on those two movies because they were both in trouble at the time. And I remember in film school, one of my professors saying, if these two movies don't do well, you might see a production house go down this year. And both those movies smashed it in the theaters. They did unbelievable when they came out to HBO and then, to DVD and Blu-ray. So, yeah, I remember that distinctly, that those big epic war movies back then were doing really well. And again, that's another genre we've kind of just lost over the last 3 years. Like, when was the last time we saw a Braveheart or a Gladiator or a Patriot or anything? We haven't.
One of my other favorites that I put in that same genre, I don't know if you'd agree, but Last of the Mohicans.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Fantastic movie. Yeah, that was great.
Same thing. I will watch that thing every fucking time it's on.
Yep. Same director, Tony, is doing, what is the movie I just saw the preview for today with the car racers and Adam Driver's in it? I just saw the preview today. No, not Gran Turismo. It's an older movie. And they were racing it looked like old school Ferraris. And Adam Driver was the main actor. He's got white hair. He's got obviously a facial piece on. Help me out, chat. What was that?
When is the Napoleon movie? Is that not till next year?
No, it's November, I believe.
Is it?
I believe so. Yeah, it's definitely Q4. Yeah.
All right.
100%.
Well, good. Well, I mean, maybe that one will do good. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the audience is. I will definitely go watch it. Maybe Michael Mann, they said.
Michael Mann, thank you. Yeah, Michael Mann's new movie. So this Napoleon's directed by Ridley Scott. So same director as yes, that's it. Is that it? Same director from Gladiator. Yep. And 2 hour and 38-minute runtime, Tony. November 22nd is the release date, so right before Thanksgiving. So hopefully
I wish they could just put a movie out like that once a week. Like, why can't we have something a la Patriot or Gladiator or Last of the Mohicans? Why can't we have regular good fucking shit like that?
There's a ton of stories out there that haven't been written. I mean, when was the last time you saw a good movie about the charge of the 7th Cavalry and the Battle of Little Bighorn? When was the last time you saw a good movie about that? That could be brought to the big screen right now and probably do extremely well. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. There's a lot of historical movies out there that look how good Saving Private Ryan did in the theaters.
I love Saving Private Ryan. I like a good sniper movie too.
Yeah.
The
audience that guy.
The sniper movies.
He was awesome.
You get the war elements, and then you get the suspense.
Yes.
Any sniper movie, whether it goes all the way back to World War II, whether it's World War II or something over in Iraq. If there's a sniper in it.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. I think Steven was saying Gladiator 2 is coming. Yeah, Super Steven, I have seen that.
Remake
Yeah, I did see
Gladiator
that.
with Brie Larson as Max.
Bree as Maximus.
Yeah, that's what's coming. There's going to be
Oh,
a fucking
God.
Gladiatorette movie. They're going to fuck it up.
CB got it. Enzo's the name of the movie that I saw
Okay.
with Adam
Thank you,
Driver.
CB.
But yeah, we need some more of those big historical epics, right? Think about what's that movie? Legends of the Fall, right? About World War One and the people living out in the middle of Canada back then. That whole story. I thought that was a great story, man, with Brad Pitt and Aidan Quinn,
Yes.
Julia Armand. Yeah, that was a good flick. Good
Fantastic.
flick.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that you have some good taste movies. There's one thing that we will never disagree on.
Good movies.
Epic battle movies.
Yeah, that's the stuff. That's my favorite. Yeah, that's my stuff. Yep. All right, T. Should we wrap it up? Does anyone else have any questions they want to get out there? Anything before the market opens tomorrow? Anything we can answer for
Four
you
more minutes.
besides where the price is going? George, how you doing tonight? See, George came into the chat. Vern Dog, Maximus CB. Just say hey to a couple of people I didn't catch earlier. Andrew Franchese. And anyone else we missed? Vern Dog, Anya, Lordy, we got. All right, yeah.
Can we talk for a second how disappointing the Tom Cruise movie ended up doing?
Which one? Mission Impossible?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised, right?
I think it just ended its run at the theaters, and I felt really bad for Tom.
Me too, because he put so much into that, right?
It did. I want to say 170 million. No, 220 million domestic. Oh wait, no, that was Fallout. Sorry, let me get the right one. Dead Reckoning, right?
Yeah. I'm pulling it up.
Yeah, I was right. 170 million. It fucking Fallout did better than Dead Reckoning Part 1, and he had a massive marketing campaign on this movie.
I know.
172 million domestic, 567 million worldwide. I'm really
did better
disappointed
overseas. Yeah.
that people didn't take a liking to this movie. Was it because it was 3 hours long?
I think that had something to do with it. What was the runtime? Was it 3?
2 hours 43 minutes.
Yeah. That and timing, right? When it came out, T, there are a bunch of movies that were still in their first couple weeks of running. I mean, look what Taylor Swift did to push movies around, right? Maybe Mission Impossible should have done that. It even maybe backed it up off of Top Gun, right? I mean, Maverick was just kind of cooling down at that point. We were still kind of beaming from 1.3 billion in Maverick, right? Maybe it was too close. I don't know.
I thought it was a great movie. I thought about going to see it twice, but there was just too many other movies to go see. I will watch it again at home, and I enjoyed watching it at the theater. I wish I could have seen it in IMAX.
Yeah, it would have been nice, right? He did put a lot of work into that. I'm sorry it didn't work out so well, but he did awesome on Maverick, right? That raked in. I mean, that's, going to be going down on one of the movies, right?
Are you going to see Paw Patrol?
Theater, as far as theaters go, a big W. And Tom Cruise always does well, right? Usually.
What about Paw Patrol? You have that one on your slate?
I don't. What's Paw Patrol?
It's a kids movie.
Oh.
I was talking about all the movies to go see this week, and someone said, "Oh, I guess you hate Paw Patrol." I was like, oh, "No,
no kids.
I don't think about kids movies, but I hope Paw Patrol does well." Let's see how it did this weekend. Oh wait, it might not be out yet. Maybe it comes out next week.
Is it next week?
Gran Turismo only did 1.5 million this weekend. God, that sucks, man.
I know.
That's such a good movie.
Yeah, you love
Blue Beetle. Huh? Blue fucking Beetle did better than Gran Turismo. Guys, go see Gran Turismo. Go see it. If you don't like it, you won't get your money back, but you can come back and yell at me. I was going to say, if you
can
don't
come
like
back
it,
and
I'll
scream
give
into-
you your money back. I don't have that kind of pull. But I think you really enjoy Gran Turismo. I was blown away because I had very low expectations going in.
29.
Someone said it's not a kids movie. What do you? I think you're thinking the one with the dog, Strays.
Oh yeah,
Strays
it
is
was
not
good.
a kids movie.
Yeah, you.
But I think Paw Patrol is. Am I wrong on that?
How did I lose Tony?
I still hear you. Do you not hear me?
Oh shoot, I can't lose him. Hold on, T. 1 sec. Oh, I got you.
Uh,
Oh baby.
I'm still here. I'm not dead yet. Andrew says Oppenheimer was long and it did well. Yeah, that is true. I'm looking up on my screen. It looks like I can still see myself, but I don't see Johnny anymore. Now he's coming back. Maybe there he is.
I lost you for a sec.
All
Man,
right.
we almost made it the whole way with no clues.
With no
Almost.
glitches.
Yeah, unbelievable. I was gonna say,
All
man,
right.
4 minutes, 4 more minutes and out.
All right.
Jeez.
Well, we made it 3 hours, right? 9, 10, 11. 3 hours? Did we really go 3 hours?
Yeah, just about.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Well, we had a lot to talk about. It's been a while since we had a sit down and chat.
Yeah. Yeah. I figured now was about time, right? We both saw the movie, so we could talk about that and then answer some folks' questions, maybe clear up some rumors, some FUD. We did a lot of that, right? We talked about the future. I'm happy with the way the stream went. I hope everyone else is. And thank you guys, everyone who came by tonight. Your mods, T. I don't know if I got in my mods tonight. I didn't even think I saw any. But if you were here tonight, thank you guys so much. By the way, T, I have my outro to play. So like a minute before we click off, it's just gonna be like low volume, and then as I sign off, it'll pop up, and we can just hop off. Is that all right?
Yep. Thank you, Anya. Thank you, Maximus. Okay. Any other mods that I missed? It looks like the audience was fairly well behaved tonight, which I appreciate. Again, both Mass and I, we're fine with you guys having dissenting opinions. Just be respectful, because we will treat you as you treat us. This is not an echo chamber, but the people who get silence is generally because they're dicks about it. So more AMC talk from me. Probably my next AMC video will be at the end of this quarter, doing an earnings estimate for Q3. We'll see if the writers and actors strike get wrapped up and that creates some upward momentum. Maybe I'll have something to talk about before the end of the month. What do you got planned for the rest of the week, Mass?
Not too much. I got a couple videos that I'm working on. I want to keep up with this border story, and we'll talk a little bit about the theaters. I'll probably do a more in-depth review to Dumb Money and just my feelings coming out of it. And it really did a little bit. I'm gonna say, to be honest, I really did get a little rejuvenated into remembering why I got into this play. The things that made me upset about the market and the things that I saw that took place from that point when I first bought my first shares all the way till now, and the roller coaster ride during the whole movie. And it's gonna get my head back into the game to get on these market, because honestly, I don't know how long I will continue to hang out in this space if I feel like a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to lose, right? So I
Yep.
want to see some things come to change, and I don't know what it's going to take to do that. I don't know if it's going to be a political movement, if it will be a complete wipeout of the SEC when a certain person gets into office who says he's going to dismantle all the 3-letter agencies. SEC might be one of them. Maybe we find something else that can replace that, that is based on blockchain. Who knows? Just, I don't know what the future holds, but until that point, I'm going to stay in the fight with you guys, and I'm still holding my AMC shares, and everything's good, right?
Let me address your buddy there, the fan. He says, Tony, you don't like
Yeah.
our stock. We're not here for you. Hit the road. I know you probably aren't keeping up, and I know you're not in my Discord, so you don't know that I'm still providing coverage on this stock. Always have been, every single day for 12 to 15 hours a day. But I made a trading decision to step aside and avoid the push down in the price, and now I'm back in with the same basic share count as I had before, but I bought back in for 80% less and didn't write it down. That was my trading choice. I don't care if you like it or not, but no one ever said, except the dipshits out on YouTube or Twitter, that I don't like the stock. Like, pay fucking attention how much money I spend at this company supporting this company. You don't like my trading decisions, that's one thing. But to say that I don't like the stock, grow the fuck up. Come on, man. And everybody in my Discord, everybody in my damn Discord can tell you I'm there talking about this stock nonstop. Never went away. I just am tired of the death threats and the lies and the bullshit in this community, and you're feeding into it. And that's why I'm not covering the stock, because I'm done with people that can't use their head. So if you want rational coverage, stay tuned to the channel. If you want clickbait, you got all the clickbaiters out there. They'll give you 10 videos a day with a bunch of lies and nonsense.
Guys, not much has changed in reality. Tony's back in. I never sold. We're still here doing the same thing we were doing before the reverse split. This is handed to us by the shorts, right? But other than that, nothing's changed. Me and Tony are still doing the same thing we were doing beforehand, trying to bring you guys. We see them as the numbers come in from the weekend box office, or whatever the suit is against Citadel this week, or whatever we're talking about. We're trying to do it as factually as we can without being a direct influence on what you guys do with your money. It's important that you guys own that and take responsibility for your brokerage accounts, and going forward to keep your eyes looking, focusing on making money, taking profits. And I'm still holding AMC with you guys, and Tony's bought back into AMC. And if it does take off and squeeze, we're going to be there with you guys when it does. And until then, we'll continue to provide you guys the best, most unbiased information we possibly can, without making it clickbait and without making it complete hopium, right?
That's coverage is still and always will be, because we're not in 2021 anymore. It's going to be a real take on the financial challenges that this company has, and how I view that for my investment and what I think is going to happen. Some of you aren't going to like that message, because I'm not going to stream 7 hours a day telling you buy and hold, let's all. No, I'm going to tell you what I see in the financials, what I'm worried about, and what I'm positive about. And if you don't like that, there's plenty of other people to go watch. I don't care. You're probably blocked on my channel anyways. But I don't do the fucking clickbait shit.
And you guys know I don't do clickbait, right? That was the whole reason why I tried to start my channel, was because I thought things were getting too clickbaity. Back early in May and April of 2021. I'm still here, and Tony's still here too. And you know, we want to support you guys the best way we can. And I think bringing you facts and you know, financials is the best way we can help with that right now. And by going to support the theaters.
I have a lot of friends that are still stuck in this play, right?
Me
Despite
too.
all the coverage that we did over the last year, some people listened and were able to make most of their money back, and God bless them. Like I said earlier, I have friends that were down $200,000 that have at this point made almost all their money back in this play by carefully listening to the DD on this channel. I have others that heard the same DD and decided, like Johnny, to not do anything. Everybody makes their own choice, but I'm still going to be here following the company and giving my thoughts for the people that are still down. What you do with that information is always up to you. And if you don't like my information, then keep on listening to the people that got you down to where you're at right now and see how that works out. That's all I'm going to say about it. I don't apologize for any of my coverage or any of my trading decisions.
Yeah, and there's no reason for that, right? I mean, if you guys, you know, you guys, if you trust me, then you got to trust the persons that I'm collaborating with, that I'm bringing on to my channel. I wouldn't be doing that. That's not my style. I think most of you guys know that. So if I thought Tony was doing something, or he was changing his mind about things, or he was trying to change my mind or anyone else's, you know, I just say no more collabs. That's all. It's very simple, right? I come out here and do my own.
You know what you're not going to
videos.
hear me do? You're not going to hear me trash the CEO, trash the company, call for boycotts. Those are the people that don't like your company. I'm trying to provide you realistic information from someone who wants to see you succeed and the company succeed.
So Hodla says, I'm holding. I don't care what you guys do. I don't invest money in AMC anymore, but I haven't sold a single share in 2+ years. Yeah, so Hodla. I mean, that's where we're at, right? So thanks for doing that. I appreciate you hanging with me. And fam and everyone else who's still holding. Look, guys, you know, I'm going to say it one last time before we go. I still want retail, obviously, to win, right? I am a retail investor. I want AMC to spike and make us some crazy money, but I'm not going to mislead my audience when I've been here for 2.5 years with the rest of you, and I've seen what's happened to the stock price, even though the fundamentals keep getting better. And if I can't make sense of that, it's hard for me to speculate on what the price action is going to be or what's going to happen in the future. All I can do is hold with you guys here, and I'm going to try to take profits going forward in little bits and pieces to try to make back some of the unbelievable losses I've taken in the last 2.5 years. And I think we all should be learning how to move forward in this market or get out of it.
And by the way, I've never shorted a stock, and nobody pays me for my opinions.
Me neither.
Let's just close with that.
I would never short. Yeah, I would never short any stock.
I've never shorted a single stock in my life, ever.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Neither have I. Yeah, it's unfortunate. You know,
it's unfortunate. Unfortunate the lies and the nonsense and the conspiracies and the bullshit that we got to deal with from people out there, keyboard warriors and video warriors out there on YouTube and Twitter. But such is the life of talking about an emotional play, Mass.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep my emotions out of it. But, you know, it's difficult. Guys all for coming out and tonight, adding your opinions and what you had to say. Tony, thanks for joining me, man. As always, bro. I appreciate you coming on.
We'll see you on the next one.
I hope you guys. Yeah, have a great night in the week in the market, everyone. You guys have a good night.